Welcome, guys. Welcome. This is episode 11 of ChatTactic for 2025. So, hi, Mike. Hi, Sorbicol. Hi, anybody else that's joined us as well. So, I didn't actually put out much of a warning that I was going to be doing it today. I just sort of do it when I wake up. So, I've just woken up actually a little while ago, about an hour ago. But I've been getting lots of things organised, and I was sort of trying to look at a few different things. There was actually yesterday when I was streaming, there was a lot of content or a lot of information coming through from different people about like an upscaling program, and I don't see the benefit. I'll probably raise it again towards the end of the stream. I think when people are actually in, because I don't know what it really does. So I'm sort of interested, but I did a bit of and I don't use the settings that it says to use for that one. Anyway, we'll get to that eventually. I've got a lot to talk about today. We've got Emperor of the Fading Suns has actually just come out a couple of days ago, so we'll talk about that. The giveaway today is actually Emperors of the Fading Suns. I'll just go and show you the actual screen. There it is in the enhanced version. Now, I'm thinking the Australian dollar that we sort of see for different things now is going to be sort of quite different, because the Australian dollar has absolutely crashed against the US dollar, apparently. So this is like, I've always sort of relied on it being about 70 cents, but it's now under 60 cents, I think. So so these numbers will change fairly dramatically over the coming weeks, I would imagine. So it's almost going to get, if it gets to 50%, it's nice. It's a nice easy. You just basically halve whatever the Australian dollar is, and you've got the US dollars. But anyway, that's I think it's under $10 anyway for this one here. I'm thinking this will still be the pre-crash, what is it, the tariff crash, the global crisis. Anyway, it's interesting. So hi JB, how you going? And Dimitar. Muzzle Paint and Jerry, guys, there's a lot of you in early, which is great. Sprocket and Jerry saying really enjoying Eurasia 1-4 stream you did yesterday. Oh, thank you for that. It's sort of one of these things where I've got to balance how often I do it, because I don't want to crush the algorithm, but I also want to make sure that I was thinking, like when I woke up, I was thinking, God, do I now just switch across to only streaming that on Twitch? But then I'm thinking, I know that there's a lot of people who like to see these things to conclusion, and I do too. But I think if I spread it out a little bit, maybe that will help. I'll see how I go anyway. So Elsa is tied up saying, Daz, you already played Supreme Ruler? Oh, do you mean the old game from way back? I did play it. I didn't like it, to be honest, if that's the one I'm thinking of. Hi Major Swifty, how are you? And Jerry's saying, I just got back into the game and loving it. I think this update added enough for me to love the game, says Jerry. It's like Age of Wonders, great game. We'll talk a little bit about that, because I do plan on streaming that to continue on what we're doing. And it's the underground now. I'll open it up actually. We'll have a bit of a look at it, but we'll look at that a bit later on. Pacer is saying it tanked hard. I'm not sure which game we're talking about there. That's the trouble when I sort of start to rattle off different games. It's sort of and by the time I get to the comment, it could be anything. It could be anything at all. So I should just really try to just keep a I don't know how to organise that. Maybe I should actually just have a something where I write in the game we're discussing at the top of the chat, so I can then just come back to when I start a new one. I can at least know what we're referring to. The best part of the types of game I play is that I need a basic GPU and no upscaling needed. I'll talk about that one a bit later on. But I mean, trying to figure out if it's something that I should get, if it's going to be better for you guys if I did get the upscaling. But we'll talk about that a bit later on. Pace was saying it was 64 cents just 2 days ago. Oh, okay. Oh, the money, yeah. It was, of course, the financial crisis, which, of course, is going to be... we live in interesting times, I've got to say. Like, it reminds me of the Romans leaving Britain, basically, back in the 400s, like where they just couldn't afford to keep on with the Pax Romana in Britannia. And it almost feels like we're at that stage now with the Pax Americana pulling back the borders and doing all that sort of stuff. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but it's just from a historical perspective, I wonder if this will be the the start of the end of Pax Americana. I called it first. Or maybe I didn't call it first, but anyway, it's sort of one of those things where I look at the history, and I like looking at what happens in current times to sort of think, how's that going to be recorded in 100 years? What will people be saying about the era that we live in? And I think that the corruption and all that sort of stuff that will be like it's the same deal like that happened with the Romans back in the 400s, like in the 300s and 400s, when the massive corruption, overextended, all sorts of stuff like that, and then just have to pull the borders back. And so we're sort of unfortunately it could be I hope that it's not unsettling for the world anyway. And maybe I'm completely misreading that, and I don't want to be political, by the way. I'm not. I don't want to get political at all. So I should just point that out. I'm really just looking at from a historical perspective. What will this era that we live in look like? Will it go down as the era of the golden era of strategy gaming? Maybe it will. Maybe that will be the big point in 100 years' time. People say this was the golden era. This was when strategy games really, really hit their stride. The high point in the 1990s, and then we have the mid 2020s, and we have the golden era. That's probably what it will be. Anyway, okay, so we've got hi Morbits, how you going? So Looney has been hit hard too. I'm not sure what Looney is actually. Dave Flute saying, hi Daz, your Age of Wonders 4 videos are fantastic, down with the algorithm. Oh yeah, okay, no, that's good. I like to know this because like sometimes these videos that I get end up with really, really small views, but I do want to I want to play what I want to play, but I also don't want to crush YouTube as well. So it's sort of one of those. It's a fine balancing act. Jerry's saying, can we get a little into the Field of Glory Kingdoms? I feel the game's not getting enough love. I agree with you. I did a stream on Slytherin. When was it? Yesterday? The day before? Might be. I forget when it was. Anyway, I think it was 2 days ago, and I was just talking with the people at Slytherin actually just before starting this up, like just in emails, because I did it like that was the end of a series that I had done for them, but it's left in a really, really nice spot, and I think I might actually show where it is. So I'll open that up as well. It's something that I did mean to talk about because again I really, really love that game. Like it's just so cool. So I'll do a bit of a deep dive into that today. Again, I've got a lot of time today, so we'll sort of get things going. Mike Miguel saying, hey Desmond, the light of the pancreatus shine upon you, thank you. XCOM 3 in 2027 says JB, that's too far away. That's too far away for us to have a look at, but interesting. If that's, I haven't heard about that one. Pace is saying it's nutty. There are a lot of people here in denial. They don't think the empire could collapse. History is frustrating because it's very cyclical, but people often don't bother to learn from it. Yeah, I know. Isn't it weird? And it's funny because history gets suppressed. And that's just, again, one of those things. I love history. And when I see people actually, throwing statues in rivers and shit like that, I just think, why? You learn from these things, the good and the bad. It's just, it's all... of course, civilization progresses, and you want that to progress all the way through. Like, the civilization doesn't really ever go backwards. Even the Dark Ages weren't a backwards era. Like, it was still all progression, but just in different directions. And you've got to learn from your past. Like it's really, really interesting. So Dimitar is saying, oh, it's the Canadian dollar. Is that what the loonie is? Oh, okay. Is that what I was referring to there? Hi, sorry, Louise is saying hi, Daz and Chad. Morbits is saying Age of Wonders is really brilliant at the moment. Yeah, it's funny because it went down though. Like I noticed that the Age of Wonders, like Steam scores went down a little bit with this DLC, which surprised me actually because I thought it was really quite engaging. Maybe it was a reaction to the price because it really was a lot. Yep. So Morbits is saying I'm still trying to master tactics from previous DLCs. Yeah. No, it's very, very interesting. So Sprocket's then saying Looney is Canadian money. Okay. And Morbits is saying I have to say I'm not a fan of Civ 7 at the moment. What's your opinion of it, Daz? I never got it. They wouldn't give it to me. They wouldn't let me play it. I did actually ask the devs, but they said no, you can't have it. You do not. I haven't done a good enough job of promoting their previous games, obviously. So, and to that I say, so be it. And I actually really don't care. I've had the same thing with a few different developers, with and it's their right to do that. But and they didn't say that directly. I shouldn't put words in their mouth. But I was rejected basically from being able to actually show the game. But there have been developers in the past who have actually have actually not liked when I've said negative things, and so then have actually sort of blocked me from sort of getting that and showing more of their content. And again, I'm thinking, look, I'm not going to change what I do, and if developers are upset about that, then so be it. It's just the way it goes, and good riddance, I think, as well. And I'm not saying about a Civ 7. I'm thinking about another franchise, another very, very large franchise, which I will not mention. Actually, Morbits are saying also Stellaris Season 9 is out as well. Yes, that's actually something that I don't play Stellaris anymore. I've got too many other games that I play, and I've got nothing against them. JB saying Yield Fall of Rome looks like it might be interesting. Came out in January this year. It actually so Yield came out, but there's a new one that came out as well, which I do want to talk about. Yield is interesting. These are games that we should have. Triumph is the new one that's come out for this week as well, and that's something as well that I did want to talk about. There's a lot to talk about today. There's a hell of a lot to talk about. So, but anyway, let's just get into it and talk about the Emperor of the Fading Suns a little bit, because that's going to be the giveaway for today. Now, you can see there that with all reviews, positive score, 92%. People who played this game love it, and the enhanced version really does enhance the game an awful lot. It was Battle Mode and myself actually were lucky enough to be able to interview Andrew, the developer, one of the developers, just a couple of days ago. Actually, we did a podcast which will be going up on the Meta Abuse. It's only audio, that one, so I think that'll only be putting up into what is it? My mind's gone blank. Whatever the music one is, Spotify, I think is where it is. I don't use Spotify, so that's sort of where things are. But it was actually a really, really good interview. So the setting reminds me of BattleTech. It feels BattleTech, very much like BattleTech. In fact, it's even better than BattleTech in terms of the lore. The actual backstory of what they've built with Emperor of the Fading Suns is just unbelievably good, and that for me is like an absolute it's so interesting to play it. And the game is old, in terms of the overall look of it. Even though it's an enhanced version, when you start playing it, you think, oh, gee, this is old. This is very 1990s, but you very quickly forget about that. That's actually the where things are with the game. So it's not really a problem when you start to play it. You just get immersed in the story. You get immersed in all sorts of different things. So there's Jerry's saying I stopped playing Civ games entirely. I got into Old World, and it's great. Yeah, Civ could certainly learn things from it. Well, I mean, the thing I like about Old World is it doesn't have eras, and I just don't like eras. Sorbicol saying balancing with an exclamation mark. The rebalancing has been made like a big part of the Emperor of the Fading Suns. There are certain things that when we were interviewing Andrew as well, there was things that were mentioned. I've tried to get a response back, but I wanted to sort of talk about the procedural generation in the game for you guys today, because that's very important for me in games. It's something that I find that if a game doesn't have procedural generation, I tend to skip over that because of the perceived lack of replayability. Now, I know that this game has got replayability, when we were talking, Andrew mentioned that some of the planets have got procedural generation and some don't. I might just fire it up so you can see it, because it was something that I was, and it's a smallish game in terms of the what it takes on your computer, which means that it will load fast on my SSD drive. Sorry, not SSD drive. I've just got a normal hard drive, my HDD drive. I'm thinking of getting an SSD drive just purely for Steam. I'm thinking I've got a couple of SSD drives, but I want to make sure I get the right one, the right size. So probably 2 terabyte or 3 terabyte or 4 terabyte, something like that. I'll have to look into that. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? It'll be under Space and Future. There it is, Emperor of the Fading Suns. And now it's sort of set to this 4:3 ratio. And when you do sort of start the game, you can sort of see there it looks oldish, the way it sort of does come up. I think we might have showed this last week as well. You've got the different ways of sort of playing. Now, random, this is what I mean, like the random maps, I was thinking, okay, this is actually what I want to be looking at. You know, the, well, in that sort of sense, do the planets randomize or the planets always play the same? And I can't for the life of me find a random version of a planet, and I don't know why. And it's one of those things where I was hoping to get an answer to that before I did the stream, because I did want to talk about that, because for me it's super important. But I'm actually, so that's my big unknown, and if I get the answer next week, I'll let you know. But it's something I do not understand, that aspect of the game. So if you do play the game, then you know, please look in the chat. Is this game? So Lewis is saying, does this game have procedural generation? I don't know. It sort of does, and it sort of doesn't. I can show you things that it does have procedural generation with. If you click on random, you get like, and in fact, what I can do is I can go and load. If I go previous and just go to load save games, if I go into autosave, I think this is where it is. No, that's not it either. God, where is it? Yeah, no, that's actually in my documents area. I'll cancel that if I load save game. Yes, it's not actually in here as such, but there is actually a way of playing it with random connections, but not random planets, is what I can see. But when we spoke to the developer, the dev actually said that some of the planets... Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you what my understanding of what he said was, but when I tested it, it didn't actually show this on up. So if I go into Start New, if I play Historical is where you want to be playing if you are playing the game. You can load these different custom ones in as well, like Lost Worlds and Galaxy, for example, are massive, massive planets, but I still don't think that the actual planets themselves are random. Oh, there's random. If I go in there, these are different random games that I'd started. So I was testing these to sort of see how things work. In fact, I'll just go and load this one in and just go next. Oh, hang on, that's the actual world that was generated. Okay, like this is, if I just click on play, just go in, just got to choose a character. Okay, so this is actually, this is randomized a galaxy for me to play. So this is actually like a random galaxy. I'll turn off the tutorials. Okay, I'll just go with any old thing at this stage. We'll just go and research that tech. And exit. I won't explain the game as such, but if I go back into space, what actually happens here is that the worlds, the layout is random, and the connections are random. And so Byzantium Secundus, and I think I spoke about this a bit last week. Byzantium Secundus is sort of like the imperial city, and the lore is incredibly good, like the imperial planet. So we would be playing at one called Kish. If I right click on there, so we're over here now. In the actual normal historic game, the connections are that we would actually be right next to, like two clicks away from Byzantium Secundus. But in this case, we're actually 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6 away. So it makes it, the random games make it much, much harder. But the world itself is identical to the actual. If I go to, for example, and I don't know which ones to actually look at to try to figure out if they're random or not. I mean, we've got Pandemonium through there. I mean, Pandemonium. Let's have a look. I mean, I can't actually get there easily. But he did say that there were a lot of the planets have got procedurally generated content on them. Certainly the ruins are procedurally generated as well. And when I did the video from a few days ago, I ended up with an extremely lucky find in the ruins, just unbelievably lucky, which really sort of sets the power base. So things chop and change in the game. So there's still randomization, but it's not random planets as such, from what I can sort of go and tell. But I'm not sure which ones are supposed to be random. And if I go and try to click on it, we can't actually see it there, unless I sort of end up going there. But what it can do is if I go and, if you want to quit yes, if I go in and actually go to the map editor and have a look, it's the same. So I'll show you that aspect, because the game is built for modding. It's actually, there's already a massive mod that's come out as the game launched, essentially. So if I go into my Steam library and Steam apps, common, and then Emperor of the Fading Suns, why am I not seeing it? There it is. And then we've got a map editor down through here. So you've just got to go and double click the map editor. And so this is sort of where we are. If I go to File and then Open, and go to my random scenarios, and just go and pick on one of these and open it up. So this is, again, if I just right click, I can then sort of see that this one here, we've got the same one that we were looking at there before. If I go into Pandemonium and right click on Pandemonium, I think I can then just go and edit this planet. So if I go and edit this planet, it's going and opening up a new editor with where things actually are. So if I go into the edit planet and through here, but the overall, the way it sort of is set up is identical every time I open it up, no matter what game I open it up in. And this is not a major planet. So for example, we've got two electronics, trace and ruins down through there. So I've just been sort of allowing things to sort of open up in through here. So palace, cyclotron, shield, factory, electronics is sort of what this one has. Now this is a rebel independent world. So Pandemonium. If we go and if I go and exit this, and I will actually exit right out just to sort of reset it, because I was trying to think, okay, is it something that I'm doing as I come back in? File, open, and this time we'll go to random, and I'll go to a different random one. I'll go to the bottom one through here, and if I right click on it, oh, that's still the same layout. Okay, I mustn't have, I'll just go and exit again. I'll go and set up another game and just quickly do a random start. But this is something I was just trying to test it the other day. Actually, that may be why I didn't see any difference. Start new. We'll go random. We'll just go play. Just go and grab. Turn off the tutorial. Tutorial is quite good, actually, I've got to say. Click on OK. Research tech, yes. All right, and back to space, and you can see there the layout's already different. Now, Pandemonium is where? There it is, down the bottom there. So if we go and have a look at this one now, so if I go and save this, file, save, so I'll just call it test. Just go and click on OK. And so I may be misunderstanding the way that, from what I heard, but I was very excited when it's when I was told about this, because I was thinking, oh, this is really cool. If I just go into File, Open, and again, if I go back into Random, we now have a new one. So this is it here, I think. And if we right click, this is sort of like the base settings for this random area. If I go and edit this planet, now, oh, that is different. Okay, I eat my words. Okay, this is cool. This is very, very cool. So what we've got here is we've actually now got a random planet, an actual random planet. And so what actually happens here, so I must have been looking at the same thing and opening at the same stuff time upon time upon time. And so yeah, we've got a very, very different planet here. Oh, this is very good. This is very, very good. So so what happens here is that so when the planets are created, now Pandemonium there, if I go and exit this one, I don't know if this historical starts actually do it, but if I go and exit that and have a look at the like if I open up for example, I'll just open up the map editor again and just go to File, Open, and go to my autosaves. Actually, I don't have any in that one, sorry. Yeah, this is actually opening up the actual files for the for what we're doing through here. Pandemonium, how do I do that one? Yeah, anyway, that is pretty damn cool, I've got to say, because if I go, I'll just start the game up again. I won't spend too much time with it, but this is the giveaway for today, and that is very, very cool. I'm actually really when Andrew, the developer, had sort of said, oh yeah, no, it's the I'll just start new historical, and I'll just go and play, and we'll turn off the tutorials just very, very quickly. It's a game that actually has got there's a bit of micromanagement, but it's not overwhelming. Like, it's actually very, 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 very well done, and it's really immersive. So in the historical game, this is the way the game is designed to be played, and it's the best way to sort of play as a new player. So what you end up having is what should actually happen through here is, if I just right click on this one, Pandemonium should, there it is down the bottom there. And so this is you can see these greyish worlds. So actually Kish is only a couple of jumps away. What I'll do is I'll just quickly go and jump there with a force, so that we can sort of see what the layout actually is, because we've now seen it two different ways with the way it's been established. So if I just quickly go to Kish, I do actually have, I think, some in the palace, is it? No, not the palace, not the factory, not the lab. Just trying to find where I've actually got. I thought I had like a spaceship that was here. Maybe I don't. What I'll do is I'll go back from orbit, and so this is actually my ships in orbit. I'll just go and grab some assault landers essentially. So I'll just load them back onto the planet. So it'll just take me a couple of turns to do this, but I'll just go back to the palace as an example. Load them in. Let's just go and grab some nobles and pop them. And we'll get a noble. We'll get an infantry. Just pop them into these ships. It's quite simple to sort of play the game. It does still feel very 1990s when you're sort of doing things, but it's just so well done. Like, it's just go and exit. They can now be loaded back into orbit. These have still got one jump left, so I'll just go and click on those. So that's actually now the others that can then go, and let's just go and send them. Whoops. Just go and if I left click, nope. If I just use the arrow keys, that'll be the way to do it. So if I go into here and right click, oh, hang on, left click. So we come into this planet, and I'll just do one more. I'll just go and put everything back into sentry mode, just so we don't have to think about it. It's just going through all the different planets and where I've got different forces. I can put them into sentry where I just don't have to even. Actually, I can just end the turn. I can just do the end of the turn, because we just want to check the planet out. So what we'll do now is we'll now jump to the other planet. So we'll, if I right click, there's Pandemonium there. So with those selected, now when you jump through, the other thing I really quite liked about this was that the way it sort of was structured is that like the singularity drive. It's not actually you don't use fuel to actually drive through through space. So space is actually fairly simplistic, but there are some complexities on the actual planet itself. I'll just go and lock all of those things down. I'll just go no and just see what happens when we go down to Pandemonium. Can we land forces there? Usually that's the end of what we end up having. So I can't actually land the forces. But we can then see, look at this. this is great. This is awesome. So we've actually now got a completely random world, which with all sorts of different ways. So yeah, the replay. Okay, the answer to is, does this game have replayability? Yes, it does. The thing it doesn't, like the thing that it doesn't have, and when I was first playing it, I was thinking, oh, the planet's always the same, but it's actually not. So we now really do see this as being extremely different. And actually, I'll just show you. We'll just try to find an area that's got like a lot of development, like this area through here. Looks like it's possibly like a capital city type thing. So I'll just end the turn one more time. I really am enjoying this game, I've got to say. So if I just end the turn. Okay, oh, there's things taken over. There's also aliens and stuff happening on as well. So Absolution is a world that is under threat way up in this corner. We're playing down here at Pandemonium. So in the opposite end, just exit out of that. So at Pandemonium, I'm just going to now land my forces. So I'm just going to left click on where to land. If I go and try to land down in here, let's just say I want to land in the middle here. We'll probably be shot out of the sky. So let's have a look and see what happens. The attacker has hidden units. So they're actually attacking my forces. It's now ranged space attacks. And it looks like we actually got through with our assault landers, but they actually had like 2 space cannons in the rebels. The rebels there actually had a bit more than what we sort of were doing. So weapons range space. Now we just got the combat is now done. The attacker also has hidden units. There's more attacks going in. So combat done. And would you like to unload? Yes. And so landing at this location, we've actually now hit, and you see that we can see different units in all of these. There's a bio plant in through here with some anti-tank guns and artillery. The palace has got some of these laser cannons that were firing at us as we were trying to land. It's got anti-aircraft and artillery there as well. There's a shield there with only anti-aircraft, and then there's a starport here with another one of the laser cannons, which was also shooting at us. So we've actually come into an area where this is the capital of the of where it is itself. Let's just go to our forces here and unselect those, and we'll just go in and do a quick attack. So the game is very, like, you do have to manage all your forces, but if I just go and attack the palace and just see what actually happens here. I'll just go with an assault attack bonus, defense minus, so let's just go on full on attack. They've got heaps of hidden units, so this isn't going to end well for us. Okay, we just got wiped out. There's different phases. One of the problems with the game is it doesn't show you the combat log. It does have like a direct phase, a close phase, all sorts of different phases depending on what the defense actually is. But in this case, there's a noble there inside their own territory, and so we've actually now killed off 2 of our nobles and 2 infantry, which is a bit of a disaster. So that's not, you don't want to do that, guys. You don't want to do that. You want to go in with scouts and stuff like that beforehand. But at least, yeah. So okay, I can confirm that the planets are random. Like as long as they're not your home worlds. If I go into space and then go back to the actual home worlds, if I go up to Kish and then right click on Kish, this world is always the same. So it's always the same, except for where you find, like where the ruins are located is always the same. But the difference with it is that the stuff inside the ruins will be different each time. So so when you play as the actual capitals, these are balanced. So this is like a capital world. It's balanced. The Byzantium Secundus, which is I'll just go back into space. So this one here, so Byzantium Secundus, we're 2 jumps away here. This is also, basically always going to be the same, no matter what sort of game you play. But these ones in grey, I don't know if the white ones are different each time as well. But that's good. At least we sort of saw that actually happening through there. So Richard Phillips saying graphics look Civilization 1 era. It does look at, but it's actually it's really is a lot more than that. So it's as you start playing it, you very, very quickly forget about the graphics. And they are very functional. They have actually been reworked, I believe, as well. Anyway, let's just go and click on OK. But the game would be awesome if it was rebuilt from the ground up, I think. The lore is something to behold. It is really, really cool. I'm just going to read through some of the comments here, guys. Sorry. So yes, Louis, does this game have procedural generation? It does indeed, which is really awesome. So if you take over the other planets, you get other bonuses, etc., etc. So it sort of lets you build up. So Dark Ranger saying the game now has a map editor, right? So we can make our own custom galaxy maps, solar systems, and planets. Yes, you can. Yeah. So I showed you very briefly that map editor. I didn't go through how to use it, but it's very, very simple. Okay, so JB saying, yeah, 2 tera, 3T or 4T. Yeah, that about covers most. Yeah, so there is 1 terabytes, but that's not going to be big enough. I don't think I need 4 terabytes, but you know, like I think I've got 2 3s at the moment, which I use for different things, but not for Steam. I'm thinking another 3 would probably be about right, but at the moment I can get 4 terabytes pretty cheaply. I don't know. I have to think about what to do. Brandy is saying, wow, that UI, wow, 1 step above having to type out commands. Well, it's from 1997, basically. Did you abandon the Maximum Fun series? What was that? Maximum Fun. Was that Dwarf Fortress? I can't remember what you're talking about. JB saying, yeah, a step up from some dir/p until you find the exe game, launch game. Yes. Yeah, no, the map editor is not part of the base game. You've got to go into the Steam library and open it up that way. Hi, Tenru, how are you going? But having said that, the game has been in development for... In fact, I think that... might have been Battle Mode who said it, or someone said it the other day, that it was actually the... it's now I think officially the game that's been had development by the original developers for the longest in history. I think is now that game. And from what I've never played the original game, but from what people have said who have played both the enhanced version and the original game, it's a really, really good addition. Like, you know, what they've done with it is very, very good. So Rocklight's saying, you mean the geography is the same landmass, or the cities are always in the same place? Well, if you play with one of your capital cities, which is like the Kish is, for example, in the faction we were playing as, that's their home world. That doesn't change. So that is, the geography is the same, everything is the same. In the sense of those other grey planets, I can now see that the actual layouts, so the geography changes, everything changes. So they're new every time you play it. So what that does, and what Andrew had said when we were doing the interview, was that they found that if they had everything random, it was too unbalanced. So by keeping the home worlds balanced, it then allowed them, with the procedural generation, to still get very, very unique gameplay every time you played it, which is great. So it was very, very cool. So where do we get to? So Korosami saying hi, and hi back. Seeking Meadow saying, just joined. What is the game? This is Emperor of the Fading Suns, which is the giveaway for today. So when we do Marble Run, that is our giveaway. Seeking Meadow saying thanks. It looks like a fun in a kind of old school way. Yeah, it doesn't play old school. I mean, it is old school greatness, really. But when you start playing it, you very quickly find just such depth, and the lore is really what drives it. Like it's and if you're sort of even half interested, I would highly recommend the Meta Abuse podcast, or that we recorded, because Andrew is fantastic to interview. Like, he was very, very engaging, very knowledgeable in, he's been around for a long time, like in the gaming industry, and it was just awesome to be able to talk with him about stuff. So it was a great interview, like in my opinion anyway, just when we were asking, and his answers, I mean, were fantastic. So anyway, it's I do recommend Emperor of the Fading Suns as a game I was going to pass up on. If I don't remember, from a fair few weeks ago, I was not interested at all because of the graphics, because of the look of the graphics, and I've completely turned around. And there was a question the other day, will I play the game again? Actually, it was Battle Mode, a private conversation. He said, do you reckon you'll play it again? And yes, I will, is the answer, because it's a pretty special game, to be honest. It's very, very special. It's the lore. Like, I don't know if you know the lore of BattleTech, but BattleTech is essentially it's similar, very similar to what happens here with Emperor of the Fading Suns. The Emperor of the Fading Suns started off as like almost like a Dungeons and Dragons type, or traveller type sort of thing. We've got books and you're rolling dice. You have all these sort of unusual adventures and so on and so forth. And the computer game was to sort of emulate that era and the way things did work. There's going to be other changes to it, by the way, as well. So they're not finished with it, and they've got things in mind of what they want to be building for the game. And actually, one of the things that Andrew said is that the modders are driving a lot of the requests for development, which is interesting as well. So yeah, very, very cool the way it sort of is working. So Rich is saying, if the mechanics are good, I can get past the graphics. The graphics really, like in the end, just did not worry me at all. Yeah, it really didn't worry me at all. So if that makes any sort of, and the reason I was going to pass up on it was because the graphics, I didn't think I'd be able to get around them. But they actually scale up like to a reasonable size. They don't, so there has been work on the graphical engine. It was interesting actually because Andrew was talking about the history of the game itself, and this was actually a game that was all set to like Microprose, who has got such great games out at the moment. Back in the day, they had a lot of great games in their stable, like Master of Magic and Master of Orion. I think was Master of Orion one of theirs? I think it was. There was a lot of games that Microprose actually had. They sold it to Sega, and then I think it was Sega. And then Sega basically, stamped on the IP of everything and wouldn't let anyone develop anything. That's why it took so long for us to get Master of Magic. Like only a couple of years ago, we got Master of Magic back from that IP. And so now what we have is we've actually now got the this sort of situation where what they did right was that they didn't get it hooked up into all the illegal stuff, so they could keep on developing it. And apparently they had to that had to be something that was put into a contract right at the start. And for them it was lucky because they were able to keep on development the whole time, whereas Master of Magic was put in the archives for decades, for absolutely decades. Anyway, so there we go. So actually Andrew's in here at the moment. He's Georgia Game Developers Association. I'd like to hear more of what people would like to see in a new version of EoFS. Yeah, so thanks for bouncing in, Richard. Sorry, not Richard. Richard's the next person down, Andrew. But no, so I think that podcast is going to be going up the next day or so. But so we can see the procedural generation. Anyway, that was the upshot of it. But Andrew is very, very open to things. And so for me, if I always try to think, okay, I don't want to just gush over a game. I always try to think, okay, what's the negatives? For me, the negatives in the game are the lack of really deep combat logs. So to be able to sort of see what actually to understand what went on. So we don't have that. And one thing that Andrew had mentioned, which now that I thought it was sort of a bit charming. In fact, I'll just open it up so you can see it again. So we've been sort of opening and closing it a lot. So if we go into where is it? If I just go into Start New, I'll just go to Historical again. This is, if I just go to Next and Play, I'll just quickly go into it. But this was something that I thought it was charming, but I can see that, it probably does need a bit of attention. I wouldn't even call it a negative. But if I go into the archives, there's different archives for different things, and the archives are actually written from the perspective of the religions in the game. And so you've got the Sinful Stars teaching of the dark, essentially. So everything is, the information in here is not all that helpful, but it's thematic. And so this is actually the lore of the church in the game. So you end up with sort of like these very the whole thing of here is actually sort of based on it being from the perspective of the church. So I like when Andrew sort of said that they probably need to put more thematic information in there. I can see that one being, that would be actually pretty cool. All of that there is just is one of the this is the content. So this one here is just going through sort of information like what the jump gates are, how they work. But it's written in this style, this in character style, from the church's perspective, because the church sort of controls a lot of what does go on. It's very, very cool the way it sort of all does work. But that was something that Andrew had mentioned that they were going to be looking at to try to balance the in-character aspects along with actual information, which I thought, in hindsight, I'm thinking, yeah, that's a good idea. Like that is a good idea, but I actually found it quite charming. In fact, if I go into the I'll just go and research any old tech at this stage, and if I get into the game itself, there's one thing I didn't actually show in my area was the archives are in here. And so you have, this is actually where the archives have got, like, this is the sort of the help file, but again, written in character. So if I go into, these are like the different schools of technology, the different types of units that you can then sort of go and have, the known worlds. And so this will then go through what we just had a look at back through there. If I just go and close that particular archive, go back to more of the archives. And actually, there's one thing I didn't also show, which I forgot to show in my video, which I will just quickly sort of show. But the microbiology, physics. If I go to military units, this is all the different military units that are sort of that are known in the game essentially. So if you have a look at a doppelganger, it's then got sort of like charming sort of graphics in through this other side. But it's written in. It's written mainly in this in-character sort of style, and researching genetics and Prana Bindu will get us closer to this technology, so we can sort of see the direction, but it's not specifics. So we don't actually get specifics about what the numbers are and stuff like that, and that would be cool to have that, to at least have access to it. So if I just go back into contents again, there's a lot of stuff in through here. Conclusion, I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I pen this litany of horrors and evils not as a prurient grimoire, but as a warning to the wise. And so it's like everything in this game has this lore that just permeates through it, which is, as I said before, I really quite like it. But you can see there's all sorts of different space torpedo bombers. It's just everything in it. It's just amazing. Plague bombs. So there's just lots of stuff. Anyway, it's very the lore is incredibly rich. But one thing I didn't show, and I did mean to show this one, was the group finders, to sort of then go through from group to group. You can sort of then just go next and sort of go to all of your different groups, even if they've sort of been put into sentry mode. So you can actually sort of then go and manage everything from that perspective. And the other thing that I didn't show was the city information, which is just a summary of what you have. And so you've got Byzantium, you've got then sort of like the fort on Kish, which is our homeworld, and you can see it flicks into the actual homeworld into there. I can click on go to and actually go to that fort. So that was actually something I didn't show, and that's actually something that really is very, very useful in the archives, to just go to the city information in through there as well. And you can sort of then see what's actually producing things, what they're doing, etc., etc. So there's a lot of good stuff there. Anyway, that is the Emperor of the Fading Sun. So that will be the giveaway at the end of the session. Would like to start from scratch if they want to. They would have to. They would have to start from scratch. But it's sort of one of those games again where it's just. Like it's a classic game, and like, to be honest, like as you play the game, you forget about that you don't have the full screen. You forget all these different sorts of things. But then when you play a game like Master of Magic, for example, like Master of Magic always felt old, even with the with what was the mod, the Caster of Magic. The Caster of Magic mod was then built for Windows, if we're going back through those old Microprose games, but even that felt old, and when you played it, you were struggling with the old stuff, even the one that was actually repurposed for Windows. This is well beyond that, but it still has got the limitations of what was built in that era. So yeah, it would mean a completely new engine, I'm thinking. But it's one of these games that you can see that at some point it will be redone. And with like where you've got sort of like different size screens and things. It's like you forget about it very, very quickly. The way that it sort of does present. So. If you're sort of looking at it thinking, this really does look like a 1997 game, it looks like it, but it actually doesn't. Like, it's actually, even this is, typically if this was from that era, like it would, I have to use all sorts of emulators to get it to run and stuff like that, and it just works. So anyway, I can't really sort of talk too much about that one, but it's but yeah, it would be interesting to sort of see this one taken into a new development environment eventually at some point. But yeah, it's really quite cool, I've got to say. I did I've had a lot of fun with it, and actually now seeing those random planets, that's there's a lot of reason to keep on playing and playing and playing, which is great. And it's sort of one of those things where, with what Andrew, with his development, he's been playing this game for decades and still loves it, and that's actually saying something about a game. If the passion can keep you gripped for so long, that's incredible. Like, there's so many games where developers are sort of just in and out, whereas in this game, as I said before, we think it's the game that's been in the longest period of development, ever, really, which is pretty cool. So where do we get to? I'll just quickly have a bit of a look. So they have to start from scratch. Sci-Fi Snob saying, yeah, good rebuild. I don't think you would have to make the graphics right up to today's. No, you don't. Again, it would be more like a war game, I think, to a large degree, but with graphics, which would be good. But having said that, like, actually, when we think about war games as well, like, there's a big difference between different developers and the user experience and user interface with wargaming as well. I've been really impressed, I've got to say, even though it scares the crap out of me. Which one is it? The War in the East 2. Where have I put that? But that's as an example of a war game that actually has got a very good user interface. That is right up there. I can't see it there now. I must be missing it. Where is it? Where has it gone to? But no, I can't see it there. But that's actually so there's certain games like that, like, the War in the East 2, which is a massive game. Like, it's just a monstrously large game. Don't know where I've put that, actually. That's sort of funny. Anyway, we'll get beyond that one. But that's actually that's a game that doesn't use 3D or anything like that. It just has a very nice way of presenting things. Okay, let's keep on going through. Hi Tom, how you going? And Vicky saying, Dwarf Fortress. Yeah, I keep on, like, I play until I don't think we're going to get much interaction. And the last one that I've abandoned 2 over the last couple of months, 2 runs. We're now into a 3rd run of Dwarf Fortress, and the trouble. I might as well open these up because I do have a bit of time today. So I'm guessing there's people here that think, just quickly get to the giveaway so we can leave and not listen to all this stuff. Too bad, you're stuck with me. I'm just loading what we've got. So I've actually ditched all the old games, and I'm just now down. If I just continue an active game, I've only left the Future Land here at the moment, which is now in late winter of the first year. So in this case, the problem we had, and I can sort of show you in this game as to why we don't have that problem, is that we were stuck at 11 characters, I think it was, in that previous run, and we had the 11 characters we had in our empire was pretty much everyone except for the Queen, and she'd been taken over somewhere else, and I think I just had started with a very poor run. I don't know why we're starting down in here, but anyway, if I go into the actual civilization, when I clicked on the one that I abandoned, if I just go and center on the fort, so the fort that we are playing in is here. So this is the Dwarven Fortress of Twinkling Hammer. So that's the one we've actually got. But when you see the map, when you come into this one, you can see that we've got blue down through this other side. This is our empire. So there's even one. Oh, there's one there that actually just failed. Okay, that's interesting. Goblin Helix of this has actually just happened literally during the last session. So the goblins. It's interesting because I can't see any goblins we're at war with. If you're at war with a group, they come up as red. And so you can see through there, there's a necromancer tower there. So what I like about this one is that we've got like some fairly large populations that can feed the fortress. And so we are getting population here, whereas the previous one, I didn't get any of it. So what have we got there? That's the fort of Clobbered Poison. So that's in an evil biome. Yeah, but we've got a fairly large-ish civilization. There's actually even a larger one in the north. So if I just go further up, this dwarven population here, this one I should have picked because they're much bigger. They're actually very strong, but we're not seeing any other reds anywhere else. So there's the elves down through there. So the goblins, I don't know how they took that hillock. Last time I looked at this, like before the last session, this was actually these were both dwarven hillocks from us, but that's now fallen to and there's goblins you can sort of see in through here that are sort of down in along this particular region. There's an abandoned pits there. There's no civilized population there. That one's been abandoned. Then we're sort of seeing these are dark elven pits. So the elves here, again, in this sort of yellowy colour. So these are actually sort of allied to us to our queen or king has actually made friends with the elves. Actually, humans in through there as well. You've got humans down this way, elves in this way, a few elves, and some goblins. But the goblins we're not at war with yet. So we could go and raid and do stuff like that. But the thing I like about this particular fort is that we've got 15 population. We're already doing better than what we did after years and years of struggling with just like a very small population. So so that's sort of working where that is. So we're still doing this every week, so once a week. But yeah, that's where we are. Twinkling Hammer is the current one, and got 5 hostiles on the map. Yeah, so we've got these. These are just an animating biome, so essentially we've still got the zombies that are coming back. In this case, we've got a zombie troll. What else do we have? I think one of these is this is a troll's left hand. So this is a hand that's been crawling around in the underground caverns, and then we've got these little chinchilla corpses. So these are undead chinchillas on the outside as well. And we're back to the troll. I think this is a mutilated corpse, and so this one, if we have a look at the health and description. So upper spine is mangled beyond recognition, left eye is fractured, left eye is torn open. So this is through combat with a cave crocodile, I think, from memory. Left upper leg is torn open, and so right lower arm is torn open, her left foot is torn open, so her right foot is gone, her left hand is gone. That left hand has come back to life, and that's what we see with the next one. So when we have a look at this one through here, and look at the description, so her left hand is mangled beyond recognition, but the hand is small and fat, and her upper body is completely gone. So basically, all we have is just the hand on its own, which has come back to life. So that would be easy to kill off, but the other troll there would be a bit more difficult to sort of then go and kill. I don't know where the cave crocodile is. The cave crocodile is actually not really a major threat. I don't know where the rest of the troll is. I'm not sure where it's got to. This is our holdings. We've sort of been able to block it all off. But we're sort of in a fairly safe position again now, but we have some big unhappiness in the fortress. Anyway, let's not continue there. That'll be, so that's Fortress Fridays. So on Fridays is when I play that. So, and I stream that to both Twitch and to YouTube as well. So that's, we'll just quit without saving there. And quit. And quit. So, good old Dwarf Fortress. Love that game. Love that game. So anyway, that's where we got to with that one. So were you landed in a reviving biome? Yeah. So we're back in a reviving biome, and so we do actually have zombie problems. And we've had one zombie within the fortress. That was Bjorf, who basically ended up being scratched by an undead marmot. Back in episode 1, and then we didn't build the hospital fast enough. We built it too fast. Actually, we didn't have the way to actually to fix Bjorf, and Bjorf ended up starving to death, and then came back as a zombie, and has been sort of like came back a few times, and then we had all sorts of things happen with different zombie stuff happening in the fortress. But we're sort of now on top of that, I think. So we've sort of been trying to solve these zombie problems week in, week out. So there we go. Carpet on a tree. Yeah, that was fun. That was great. Yeah, that was, forget who that was. That was really cool, actually. I almost felt like making a short out of that, because that was, having the dwarf stuck in the tree, sort of being harassed by zombies down below was very cool. I gotta love it. It's such a great game. So, Ivy, I'm saying I like to have EoFS with remade balance and AI. no more costless units. Well, it has been completely rebalanced. So that's actually something that Andrew had sort of had reiterated. That the enhanced version does actually have, because that was actually one of the, I guess, one of the negatives about the game when it released, and for a long time after it released, was that you could actually find, there was ways to exploit units, whereas they've sort of been rebalanced to make things sort of make more sense. Now, I'm just going to have to call you Krylik, sorry. Krylik saying, so how they can participate in the giveaway. At the end of the game, I get everyone to type a win in the chat, but it has to be when I'm actually, when I've already got it there, and then we just do the marble run, and whoever wins the marble run wins the game. So that's what we end up having. So that will be at the very, very end. And this will, we've been here for an hour. We could go even, this could be a bit of an extended session. We've got a bit to talk about today. Yeah, there's quite a lot of icons in the background. Can we play all of them in one long stream? Well, this is the one I need to be doing. This is my try them out group, where I've sort of got them thinking, I really got to try these and see what they're like, and play them, to get an understanding of the game. And so they start off into here, Firmageddon, which I know some of you guys love this game. Supernova, which actually I just picked this one up. Like the devs shot me a key of this one just during the week, and I've actually been enjoying that one. It's very, very quick little game, so I have been trying that one. I've already been trying that one. Here's Roman Triumph, which we were talking about before, which I haven't. I've had a quick look at it. This is a Roman Triumph survival city builder, which has got an interesting take on city building and sort of like armies and things. It's sort of, and I haven't really played enough of it yet. Yeah, so I've got heaps of these, and so when I go through, and I've gotten rid of some that I just think, and I probably will never get to those, but there's lots and lots of them. So as I start to scroll through, Men of War 2, I meant to do that one. A Burden of Command is a game that some people I think would really, really quite like, which I just haven't got to. Timberborn looked interesting. Railroad Corporation, X4, look, that was awesome. Foxhole, massive. I've got lots and lots of stuff in here. But there's the old original Solium Infernum. I loaded this in because I've had the game ever since it first came out. There's another one that I think was back in the early 2000s, I think. And with the Solium Infernum, I've actually got through there. I do actually have the new Solium Infernum as well, and the new Solium Infernum is incredibly good. But it's unknown with what's going to happen with development there. There's heaps and heaps. Hexagear was a great game. I actually had recorded that one, but then I never put the recordings up because I wasn't happy with them. Ara History Untold. Actually, you don't hear about that game anymore. But that was only a few months ago. Town of Salem 2. I've never played that one, but I love Town of Salem 1. Terminus, Zombie Survivors. That's really quite interesting as well. There's Mega Mech, which we were talking about. When was that? A week ago? Somebody was talking about Mega Mech, and I knew I'd heard of it. I just didn't know where I had it. Like there's War Tales, there's some big games. Anno 1800, Silence of the Siren. There's some good stuff in here. This is Solium Infernum windowed version, back and through there. So that's my list of games that I haven't really played properly yet. So anyway, yes, there is actually a big long list there to get into at some point. So, unfortunately, I get a lot of keys, and I don't know what games I'm going to enjoy and what games I'm not until I try them, and so I tend to. So unfortunately for developers, I tend to latch onto one or two games every so often, but there's a lot of games that end up in this try. And as I said before, I've actually cleaned this out about a month and a bit ago, and now it's filling up again. Can we? So Tom's saying there's a lot of icons in the background. Can we play them all in one stream? Well, most of these are actually scroll. So I've got scrolls everywhere with these. I've got too many games. But these are. I did go through and deleted the games that I don't play all that often. So anyway, we'll keep on going. So graphics reminds me of my concerns about Dominion 6. Well, again, Dominion 6 works as well, like with its graphics, and it has actually had upgraded graphics, believe it or not, with Dominion 6. So the graphics between Dom 5 and Dom 6 was actually there was a lot of work that went on in making DOM6 to actually have very, very not refined graphics, but the actual graphics took they completely reworked the way that actually function. I could go into detail about that, but I'm mindful that we're going to do have to sort of move on a bit. But DOM6 again is one of these games where if you change the graphics, you would change the nature of the game. It's a bit like Distant Worlds. Like the original Distant Worlds, this is something that Eric Rutens had sort of said months and months ago. He was saying that to build a faction in Distant Worlds universe took you a day or less than a day to sort of be able to structure it, because they were using sprites, and this is what DOM6 has as well. In Distant Worlds 2, to completely build a new faction takes you a couple of months. So the difference between Distant Worlds Universe and Distant Worlds 2 is the complexity of building a faction, and it's even more than that now, I think, with what they've been doing, fleshing it out, is chalk and cheese, which is why one of the negatives with Distant Worlds 2 was that it didn't release with all of the factions that Distant Worlds 1 did. But then when you look at the scale of the development required, like you're looking at something that's going to take 60 or 100 times longer to build something that you could do in a day previously. It's a lot of time, a lot of development time. That's why we're getting the DLCs coming through, because they just could not build them that fast with all the 3D and stuff in it. So if DOM6 went to higher, like different types of graphics, we'd end up where we just wouldn't be able to have anywhere near the breadth of groups that we can play with. And so it's a balancing act, and I'm thankful. Like we're sort of lucky in a way with DOM6 that it now allows ping files to be able to be used rather than bitmaps. Back in the day, it was bitmap files, and they were horrific to actually sort of add things into. So yeah, no, it has improved. We're using 1990s web technology now, not 1980s sort of bitmap graphics. So no, it has. DOM6 has improved, and they've even got like a 3D engine that now runs underneath the way that the game actually does function. So there is stuff there anyway. I won't keep on going on about that one. Okay, so it would also be great to have in-game tech tree units for EoFS. That was something that Andrew had mentioned as well when we were talking about it. So yeah, he mentioned that as being something that they were looking at to try to sort of not make it complete, because one of the charming things about Empires of the Fading Suns is that that everything's a bit amorphous, and I can see that being a factor of the game, but it's also something that as you play the game, you would then know what they were. So that should be exposed to players if they want that. Yeah, so it should be there for them. So that we did the concerns about DOM6. Richard saying, I like the way it's given them a genre section. I used to do that in my book collection. Yeah, it's with this stuff here. Yeah, well, it's the only way I can manage it. By the way, this is Fences. If I go into Steam, and you can get it through Steam now. So Fences, I think you can get it through Fiences. I'll just go and spell it correctly. Fences 5 in through there as well. So this is actually from Stardock. Funny, it's mixed reviews, but I really like it. So it says only 51% like it, but it's but I really like it a lot. So you can get it from Steam if you are so inclined. I'm surprised at that rating, to be honest, because it's really good. Like I love it. Like even if I have a thing to I record in 1080p just so that you're at least not seeing things that have been resized too much. But I do actually have my normal resolution. I can just flick that on, and then these just stay where they are. It's resize everything. Everything sort of stays where it was, and then so I can sort of. It's very easy for me to manage things. But it's but yeah, this is pretty much this is how I've sort of got to do it. In fact, the interesting thing with this is my gaming page, but I also then have over through here a work one. So if I ever get clients sort of coming around, I can just sort of flick to that one there, or flick back to this one. And if I'm recording something like what I used to do with Dwarf Fortress, was I've also got a third one, which is basically just a blank, so I could actually sort of then just put games into there. But it's a really, really good little program, Fences. I love it a lot. Okay, let's keep on going. So where do we get to? Sorry, I keep on skipping past. I've got to keep on going back up. God, I've missed so much. Sorry here, guys. I don't like just abandoning the chat. Okay, I was just saying, I like that he has done that one. Yeah, Microprose did Master of Orion and Master of Magic, along with a heap of others, and they're back. Microprose is back, and they're back big. I've really got to do at some point an actual series or one of these chat tactics just on what Microprose has got. I mean, they've got some great games, like some really, really great games. I mean, I've sort of shown you things, for example, like Carrier Command 2. That's Microprose. They're mainly sort of focused in this modern era. Urban Strife, I think, is one of theirs. The Boat Crew is awesome. This is really, really cool from Microprose, and that's just had an update as well. God, what else have they got? They've got heaps. They've got heaps. Tiny Combat Arena is Microprose. Second Front is is Second Front Microprose? I think it is. Or is that? No, I can't remember now whose that is. Anyway, it's but they've got a lot of great games, like really incredible games. So anyway, that's Microprose. I really do like what Microprose does, and it's sort of one of those, when I think of all the different developers that I deal with, like Microprose is one of the special ones. Like I've got a fair few developers that I do deal with that have got like a lot of games, and I want to just put it out there. I really like what Microprose does, along with so many others. And I think in this particular, probably the rest of this one, we're going to be talking mainly about what Slytherin does, which is another one of my all-time favourite publishing companies, because they really do embrace niche games like the sorts of games that we sort of cover here. Okay, so Andrew is then sort of saying that the Spectrum Holobyte took over the Microprose IP. Okay, I thought it was. I forget who had it. I thought there was another bigger company that just had it locked away. Charles Lenny's saying, looking forward to Armour Brigade 2. Yeah, I'll be talking about that. I'll be streaming that. When will I be streaming that? Either tomorrow or the next day. And I've got a sponsored stream to do with that one, but I'm going to show that today anyway, and we'll just go through it. So Josh is saying, I realised to see a combat log. Yeah, the combat logs would be great. And then Andrew is saying, combat logs are a good suggestion. Sci-Fi Snob is saying, no, keep it thematic. Let the players find out if the info is true or not. This is to do with the archives. I think the balance between them is good. Like I think, like to have the information there would be good. Just put it at the end of the thematic stuff. I think so. That's how I think it should be. Having some hidden info that players have to discover. If a player wants the full info, it'll quickly be spoiled online so they can sort it out. Yeah, I think nowadays everything has to be open for players, because they can search for stuff. And as soon as you get as soon as there's a wiki for any game, then basically you've got the information there anyway. So you might as well have it in game. That's good from your primer. One of those things I was worried about was the lack of unit variety. Unfortunately, when I did that, like I was looking at the time, I was thinking, geez, I'm an hour and a half in, and I thought I'd be able to do it in like half an hour. I didn't realise just like how much there was to cover. And then when I thought, oh God, I didn't even show. Like at the end up, when I finished the recording, like the first thing I thought of was I didn't even get to show how to manage the units, how to manage the cities. All those sorts of things, but I'm thinking, they'll discover it. They'll find that button. They'll get there. Can you modify the units? Yes, you can. So with the game itself, allows you to do a lot of things inside it with editing different bits and pieces, and modding as well is really, really easy in Empire of the Fading Sun. So there's already a mod out. Which I downloaded but haven't actually installed yet. If you just go back to Empire of the Fading Suns. God, I'm not typing very well, am I? What have I done? Emperor. I can't even really say that I've only just woken up anymore. It's been a couple of hours. So By the way, there is a demo there as well, 20 turns, which is actually heaps. You'll know if you like the game or not from the demo. So if we go into the community hub, and it has been, if we go to discussions, you'll find that this has been pinned. So Emperor's War mod is already there, with already 30 people actually talking about it. So it goes through. This makes things a lot more detailed. So Emperor's has 10 unique archives. So not just the 5 that start, but a whole lot of them as well. Example of lore contained in the Emperor in the Emperor Wars thing. So map. So much more complex sort of map than, actually not that much more complex. But Byzantium Secundus is now in the middle. The different factions now control networks. Still a few random maps in through there as well, but this sort of takes things in completely different ways. More unique Emperor Wars house units. They've sort of got like different sort of units that they've actually introduced. So added different things in through here as well. So there's a lot again, and so the game is really built for for modding. Really, it's a lot to like about this. So anyway, that's a whole other. That's a heap more gameplay that you've got there just from that particular mod. It changes the game quite dramatically. All right, so I'm just going to grab myself a drink of water. I'm going to be right back. Okay. Actually, Sapphire Snob was saying you're having some hidden info that players have to discover. The player wants the full info, it will quickly be spoiled online so they can search it out. Well, it goes beyond that as well. When I've been playing the game, there's also, there's not just ruins, which are sort of more humanity, but there's also alien ruins. You end up having to fight alien forces, and that's actually, even that's really quite different, and it's sort of, so there's a lot to discover in the game. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so you can modify units, absolutely, and you can modify it in real time, I believe. I haven't tried that, but you can actually go in and chop and change the numbers and stuff and do it yourself. Yeah, it looks like 640 by 480. I should at least have made it SVGA, says me, myself, and I. It doesn't feel like it when you're playing it, to be honest. It really doesn't feel like it. Like if I play the original Master of Magic, it feels really different. Even if I play the... now, that's going to be under Fantasy. I may have even ditched it because I just thinking I'm never going to open it again. Oh, here we go. This is Master of Magic Classic, but this is done for Windows. So if I open this one up, this is now opening Caster of Magic for Windows. So this is the Caster of Magic. If I go and play this one, this has been repurposed to work in Windows. So it's still loading in essentially DOS. Loading all the images, all these 1990, whatever it is, images. 1990, was it 4? 94, 95? Now, Caster of Magic is a mod that is in development for 20 odd years. So it's an amazing mod for the game, and I sort of almost wish that the I hope that they keep on developing Master of Magic as a Slytherin. They got the IP for it, and because I really think the game is a special game, and I like where they took the game, but like to get to make it more like Caster of Magic. So this is. Now that is, I think, 640 by 480, and it doesn't look this like EoFS looks like it's much higher resolution than this. But this is definitely of the same era in terms of the cut streets. I'll just go and just go to new game. So for me, I'm seeing the pixels much more than what I did with. In fact, why don't we do half and half? Here we go. For your viewing pleasure. So this is the original cuts. This is the original video, and I think this is higher resolution than what we're seeing with Master of Magic. I'll just go in and have a bit of a look. There we go. So I'm like from the resolution, I'm seeing much less resolution here than what I am on here. So I don't know if you guys can see that. In fact, if I go to screen grab, there we are. The proof is in the pudding there. So and I was worried I was going to end up playing with this, and I don't like playing with that, to be honest. So anyway, that's where we are with the insets. So that's so that is. I'm just going to go and get rid of that one. Make sure you want to exit the game, yes, and quit that one as well. So it is much higher resolution. I don't know what the resolution is. So Sci-Fi Snob is saying, give us more free stuff. Yes, okay. At the end of the session. Okay, so yeah, so I'm saying it should be a normal tech tree. Codex is great, but very complicated. There's reason for it, and I actually agree. Like when Andrew was talking about it, he was talking about the approach they had with it, and I do like the approach. I've got to say, just from that lore perspective. So for me, it's actually okay. So I already answered about how to participate. That'll be at the end. So the giveaways will be marbles run at the end of the stream. Yes, it will. Hi Dom UK, how you going? So we've got Sprockets in saying actually like Daz not here for giveaway. No, you can be honest. You can say that you're only here for the giveaways. I really don't mind. So William's saying, yeah, laughing, saying not I, Daz, my weekly indulgence for like 2 years now. And so far, I'm only here for free stuff. The person who wants it the most should get it right. Well, your marble has to perform. Hi, ZXM, how you going? Chris was saying this chat view took me like 100 refreshes to pop up at last. Oh, okay. Samurai Wolf has retracted their message. Probably has been slammed by Nightbot, who we do use to manage the giveaway. Very Game saying hi to Daz in chat. Hi back. Rocklight saying no water. I'm not sure what that was about. Now, what did I get up to? Sorry, there's so much here. I'll just try to skim maybe. Yeah, so we're talking about Rocklights and saying Bjorf just had to have it to leave. Yeah, that's right, no water. This is in Dwarf Fortress. Samurai Wolf saying you should look at Sword and Siege Crusades, book 1. I don't know that one. Variant Games saying I really enjoyed the podcast about Distant Worlds 2 with Eric. And on that note, do you know when they're going to get Carrier Command 2 videos? Yeah, I've like Battle Mode is wanting us to record more before he actually releases it, but I think we should be releasing that one. I'll put pressure on him if I can. I'll see if I can actually sort of get him to release it. But he's sort of holding on to the one because it was fun, the one that we did. Like, and that has been months now. But it's really, the timing is so hard at the moment, trying to get things going. So I think we should release it, and even if it's going to be a couple of months before we can do, episode 2, so be it. Like, it doesn't really matter. Happy to say that my Matrix Games anniversary coupon just arrived, so I'll be ordering Armour Brigade 2 today. Yeah, so I'll go through Armour Brigade next, I think. Curse of 3D modelling. Yes, it's not just the modelling. There's a lot of stuff when you put these, when you start to add complexity. In fact, the biggest problem, not the biggest problem, for me, a massive barrier to modification for Distant Worlds 2 is the fact that they don't have ping files for their characters. The characters do not need to be animated in Distant Worlds 2. You don't look at them long enough for that to be a concern. They should have at least allowed pings to be part of what happens there. And the case in point is Galactic Civilizations. Galactic Civilizations for many versions now has got animated characters for the main factions, which is fine. And then they've also got where you can actually just put in your ping files so that modders can very quickly go and build stuff. And Distant Worlds 2 doesn't do that. And that for me is actually one of the reasons we're not seeing different factions. Because to build a faction with with all your ambassadors and stuff like that, you have to go and make these animated characters. It's not 3D either. It's actually sprite animation, and so it's a different technology and a different way of doing things than 3D modeling. So if you're a modder who knows 3D modeling, you've got half of what you need, but you still have to be able to animate sprite animation characters, which is so there's just unfortunately for Distant Worlds, and we didn't talk about that when we were talking with Eric, but It's something that I mentioned way back at the start as well. I just thought this is not going to work well for people trying to build their own factions when you've got two different approaches you need to take with designing a group, both very complex. Like the 3D is a whole other complex item as well in Distant Worlds 2, more complex than just 3D modeling, and then you've got the character animation on top of that as well. Okay, so what did we get up to? So Silvercall's saying I can hear Endless Legend 2. Oh yes, well that's under. I'm not allowed to talk about it. Sorry, I'm not allowed to talk about Endless Legend 2, so I'm not even going to mention it. Fences and Multiplicity, 2 programs from Stardock. I couldn't live without. I don't know Multiplicity. I don't use that one. Silvercall's saying I don't think that there are many people keep icons in their home screens these days. Yeah, I do. I'm just old school. I like it that way. That's not a name I hear in a while. Says Rilzik. I'm not sure which one that one actually was. So did they have the original? Yes, they had the original XCOM as well. This is Microprose. Hopefully, we're on the last. We're on the home run as far as the chat is concerned. Matrix Anniversary coupon is capped at 50%. So even at 20 years, I started. I started in the 90s, I think, with Matrix and Slytherin. I think Matrix and Slytherin were separate companies back then, and I started Matrix first, and then I think it was within a year I also sort of signed up with Slytherin with their forums. And some are saying Microprose is the boss. They're great. Hooded Horse, yeah, great as well. Great stuff. So Endless Legend, which I'm not going to talk about, is coming through Hooded Horse. So that's going to be a Hooded Horse in through there. So Arms Trade Tycoon is Microprose. Yes, so we covered that one last week. The Cassina saying Sea Power, Naval Combat. Yeah, that's another game I've got to do is Sea Power. That's Microprose as well. We've got some great games. So yeah, it would be good to do a session just on Microprose. Maybe when all these new games sort of ease off a little bit. There's a lot of new stuff coming up. Hi Tom, how you going? WK is saying, does the Emperor of the Fading Suns update mean a sequel could be in the offing? I'm not sure actually. It's sort of one of those things. I think that there's still a lot more they can do with the current enhanced game, to be honest. So they may not even be interested in sort of starting from scratch with it. It's a big undertaking to do that one. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, if it goes well, who knows? So yeah, Dom UK saying, yeah, Emperor looks much crisper. So you can see there the difference. Tom's saying, no, the proof is in the eating of the pudding. There we are. So CB is saying, hi, Daz and chat. Got to love this new time coincides with an hour-long meetings with my boss every week. Sprocket's saying, I'm not lying. I'm here for Daz. There we go. So Thomas Evans says, hi, Daz. Love your videos. Thanks for that. Seeking Matter saying, or not perform like I did last time. Yeah, so Seeking Meta was one of the winners. That was a great win, actually. Got to say, you were the only one to fall off in that middle run, which was very cool. Yeah, saying the only way I could win was for Daz to give away to the biggest loser, but that was good. It was a really good finish. Yeah, you were the only loss out of all the marbles in that second run. Brian Day is saying, what's your opinion of Stone Shard, Daz? Looks like a fantasy setting of Quasimorph, but it seems to get a lot of negative reviews. It's sort of one of these games with Stone Shard. It's a game, again, the other day I was thinking I'm going to have to go back and have another look at that because I think they've done a lot of work with it. I don't know why it would get negative reviews because it actually is a very good game, but the prelude to it is a guided game. So it's not really random, and I do really like my random games. So that one's sort of not really there. Anyway, let's get into Armour Brigade 2. Now, at the moment, let's actually go to the Steam page and just get info on it. Actually, what I might even do, before we even get into and do a bit more of a deeper dive, I'm just going to open up my Steam area and just go to the library. We'll just quickly go through the stuff that comes up in here, because when I had a look at this, I'm thinking, there's a lot of stuff in here that we do have to talk about. So, the Lens-On series, like Battle of Britain, I do really like what Stardock does with these videos, and so this will be for Scramble Battle of Britain, which will be coming in just a week or two. I think we've got the multiplayer update, which I'm really looking forward to. I showed this one last week, so I won't show it again. But have a look at the Lens-On series. These are little videos, little historical videos, and they're very well done. I mean, we're talking about the Field of Glory Kingdoms, and so that was the series that I was doing for Stardock was actually a follow up on like when they would put out a series of lens-ons for Field of Glory. I would then sort of do my live stream and then write a bit of an article about what happened in the live stream type thing. So, and I think the next one of those goes out in the next day or two. I think in 1 or 2 days, might be tomorrow or the next day. So there will be actually another article of the live stream that I did just on the weekend. So we've got stable releases there for just compatibility releases for the for DF Hack. I can't believe how fast they get these things out as the game updates, DF Hack updates. And of course, if you're watching this and you haven't watched any of my Dwarf Fortress content, don't try playing Dwarf Fortress as the base game. Run DF Hack as well. Even if you don't do anything, DF Hack will manage so much of the stuff for you. Hi Reed, how are you going? Where can you find the podcast with Eric? That was actually with Explorminate. So if you look at the Explorminate podcasts, I didn't realise that they actually put it up so quickly. Actually, I thought that was still going to be doing some edits on that one because that was actually only recorded a few days ago as well. So so that one there is an Explorminate podcast. So and I haven't heard it. I haven't listened. I don't tend to have time to listen to things. It's sort of funny. Like it's. I very rarely get a chance to look at videos on stuff actually, or listen to podcasts. So I don't even have Spotify, to be honest. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm really old school. Anyway, Commandos. I'm going to talk about this as well. So we'll be coming through. We've got just 2 days left to release. I will be doing a couple of live streams on Commandos. I'm really impressed with what I've seen there. Actually, I'm not allowed to really sort of show it at this stage. I might open that up. See if it shows. Commandos Origins. So I won't. I'm not allowed to open it yet because I'm not allowed to show it yet because I'm under embargo with that. But I'm going to be able to show it in a day or two. So I will actually be definitely doing a couple of live streams sort of as it releases. So with just 2 days until release, we have the penultimate, not to be confused with El Presente's assistant penultimo, do and don't comic for you. This time we cover the topic of frustrating missions and what the best course of action is. So this is just going to be a little bit of a thing. So prove your patience and resilience by carefully executing. Well, I would say if you're playing any of the Commandos type games, it's really an exercise in save scumming because it's a puzzle game at the end of the day. But it's very, very nicely done. I've got to say, the actual it was one of those things where I really enjoyed the original Commandos games when they first came out, and they did sort of set the genre for it. But you know they were getting a bit old, and so I tried one a fair few years ago now when it first came out, and thought it's lost something. You know, there's just something was missing. But I've got to say that playing this new one, I was very, very impressed with it. So hi Hugh David, how are you going? So yeah, it's the in this case I've got to say I'm actually really, really enjoying it through there. Purposely fail a mission due to frustration. You may be done with the mission, but the Commandos sure aren't. There's war after all. So yeah, don't purposely fail a mission. Do prove your patience and resilience by carefully executing every mission, no matter how many attempts it takes. That's the key. I mean, with these games, these are a save scum game. I love save scumming. Excuse me. It's got this tickle in my throat. Right, then we've got, this is 3 days to go, so they're doing more and more. I won't go through it all, but I'll be showing that one as well. And as I say, I am very pleasantly surprised. I wonder if I could show. I wonder if I'm allowed to just show an open screen. I didn't hear back last week about showing Age of Wonders 4 before I was allowed to. I think it was Age of Wonders 4 that I opened up. Yeah, it was. I opened it up and showed you. I showed you some. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not showing you actual. I'm not streaming the game technically. All I'm doing is actually opening it up so you can see where I am with the game. So we'll go and do that now. And as I said, I will be streaming this over the coming days. I was going to play a little bit more. This is from Calypso. And so I'll just go and launch the game. So Tom's saying, Dad's still taking your morning swims with the sharks? Yes, yeah. Actually, yesterday was beautiful. God, it was good. It's starting to become winter now, and so it's getting cold. Like, you know, the air is getting cold, but the water temperature is still warm, and so it's actually warmer now than the air temperature. Here we go. So you've got all these different commandos, and again, they've all got different skills, which they always have had. But the actual, oh, there we go. Federal Ministry. I didn't realise it was German. There we are. God, Germany put out some good board games, you know, like it's and other games as well. Like I really like what they like board game wise. They just rule the world, or that sort of Central European area. Okay, so Commandos. I'll just go into a load, and again, I'm not going to play any of it. So we're not even though I'm sort of under embargo. This is. I'll just quickly go through. This is sort of part way through a mission. Actually, I'll just load it there. This is a save scum that I've taken. So I'll just let them sort of come through. Now, in this case, there will be, but you can see there this is actually in-game graphics, by the way. So this is much better than anything I've seen from Commandos before, just in terms of what it does do. It really does a good job. I'll just click on continue. Just so you get a feel for what the graphics are like. So we've got things like, you've got the mini maps down through here. I'll just go and close that one. This is actually still tutorial missions that I'm actually playing. If I leave it, these guys are just been knocked out. So you have to use the arrow keys to sort of move around. The WASD keys do other things. But that's so I won't sort of talk too much about what's going on through there. There's some British that are then fighting. So this is just more things happening back over here. Looks like we're being shot now. These guys are waking up and shooting our guys. So our guys are here, and so they've been just being killed, and that's going to then sort of reset. So mission failed. The Green Beret has died, and so we've got, like, I've only got 2 characters at this stage, but the actual graphics look really cool. And I won't go through how to do everything. I'll be doing that in my live streams. But if I just go back to main menu and just see if there's anything else I can sort of see from here. So at the moment, I'm just using these 2 characters. That's all I've actually got unlocked. But each of them will actually then have their own sort of skill set. So they've actually got different things. And I've got to say, the user experience and the user interface really do work very well. Now, it's sort of funny because another game that I really rate highly in this genre is the, I'll just confirm that one through there, is the Shadow Gambit. Where is that? Is that under Fantasy? Did I put it under there? I forget, maybe it's under Miscellaneous. But it's a game that I really quite liked. I can't think of where it actually is. It's a game that... unfortunately, the actual gaming company, the developers, I think ran into a bit of trouble and couldn't sort of continue on. It wouldn't be that way, I don't think, but I can't think of where it actually is. I think it was Shadow Gambit. I'll have a look at it on Steam and have a look as well, because there was another game that I was impressed with, and I really thought, this genre is now being taken over by the I'm pretty sure it was Shadow. I'll just go and check. Shadow Gambit. Yeah, the Cursed Crew. This one here. And this one here from Mimi Games, Hooded Horse game again, actually. Oh, I didn't realise it was Hooded Horse. They may have just switched over. But this was the same sort of thing, but in a fantasy setting, and I quite liked what they did with this. You can see 86%, 92%, very positive. I think, and I was concerned about sort of getting, like, really having a good look at Commandos, because when I saw this game, I thought, okay, this is how you do it. But I've got to say that the Commandos I'm very impressed with as well. And so I'm sort of thinking that if you like these type of games, you're going to really like Commandos as well. It's more realistic, so you can't do the fantasy type things that they actually do through here. But you do have a lot of stuff, again, a lot of sort of complexity with lining things up and doing different things in the area. In fact, it's there's a lot of similarities between what they've done with the Shadow Gambit and also with the new Commandos. Certainly, the new Commandos is heaps better than what it was previously. Like it's I mean, it's a modern game, but I wasn't expecting it the level of polish anyway. I thought I'd just say that before I start to do those videos. So that's Shadow Gambit. Again, Shadow Gambit I do highly recommend as well. I love what they did with this one, particularly if you like these sorts of Commando style games. What's the genre for these? What is it called? I mean, it is a game where you save scumming and then just trying to sort of get through bit by bit. Like triggering what people are looking at, triggering all your people to act in a certain way. Very, very cool. I do really quite enjoy those. So, Jen, you were saying skirmish in it. I'm not sure which game we're talking about there. Sorry. Cool air and warm water is perfect, says Tom. Yeah, it's actually very nice. And it's funny because I didn't realise, but last week there was actually a fuel spill in one of the bays, and or sort of inside one of the harbours, and it opens up into where I swim. Anyway, I don't think any of it got into the bay that I swim in, but it was but yeah, so people were talking about it. So there was yesterday was just crystal clear. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So Adrian's then saying Desperados 3 is the same like this. I haven't played that. Then Drexy's saying Shadow Gambit wasn't Hooded Horse, the company that made it pretty much closed after release, but Hooded Horse came in. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because Me Games, they did go out of business essentially, which is a shame because they had just finished Shadow Gambit, or one of the DLCs for Shadow Gambit, and I was thinking, they've done a great job, and then all of a sudden they're gone. It's a bit like Solemn Infernum, like Solemn Infernum that they're still operating. So I'm assuming Me Games must still be going with Hooded Horse now stepping in to sort of help out. That's actually, Hooded Horse does this. They've got some really good games, and this is no exception as well. So Shadow Gambit. We also then have, of course, Commandos. I'm not sure if Commandos. I'm pretty sure you can't actually go and get. Oh, there we go. We do actually have pricing on it. So I'll just go and close that one off. But this is so it's currently Commandos. You can pre-purchase it, but that's going to come out basically. You've only got like 2 days to go and grab that. Yeah, 2 days to get the pre-purchase, and it's coming in It's coming in 2 days. Yeah, so that's probably when I'll start streaming it actually. So I'll be streaming it pretty much at launch, and I'll be doing a couple of streams for this one. But yeah, it's quite nicely done. Lots of this is much more realistic than Shadow Gambit, and I'm guessing that some people will prefer this sort of style of what does go on. Yeah, it's a very, you can see through here just the interaction, but it's a beautiful looking game. They've done a great job. I mean, with all of the Calypso games, you're thinking about the other games that they have. They all do have a very, very refined graphic style to them. Anyway, that's Commandos. Go back to here. Okay, Quasimorph, breaking the meat cage. So the coming in patch 0.9. I always love the new patches that come for Quasimorph. So, hello mercenaries. The first phase of beta testing is wrapped up, and the second phase we announced a couple of months ago is now nearing an end. So we've got augmentations. Okay, now this is actually, I've been playing this. Yeah, so no, it's not going to be all that new, but at least it will be polished. Implants for natural extension, augments as well. That would be good. New locations, Jupiter and surroundings. Now I haven't seen Jupiter yet. I'll have to go and have another look because I'm in the beta. It's an open beta, so anyone can sort of go to it. Yeah, so Jupiter, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. Update includes 27 new stations and 3 new locations set. So the ones I've been playing, so I'm looking forward to this one here, when this one does come. Oh, here we go. Now you can find out. We've added a text-based combat log in the lower left corner, which tells you exactly who did what and where. This is great. I love this. This is such a good game. For a procedurally generated, combat mission, turn-based game, this is brilliant. Such a brilliant game. One of my favourite games, actually. It's one of my... I'm into the patch. Right now we're planning on pushing it to the main branch late next week. Okay, so we've got a week and a bit. That's good because all of the new games that are coming out, well, this will come in just after that. Actually, tentatively expected around April 11th. Okay, no, that's too soon for me. I've got too many other games coming out then. Including Endless Legend, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. So anyway, that's so I'll probably be a few days after that before I really get a chance to play that one there. Xenonauts 2, they've sort of now released their 5.23 milestone, so this is a regular update. They did actually just put out milestone 5. So this is now just going to do patch releases in through there. The game is, I think, now feature complete, I believe, so that's sort of ready to go. Yeah, Commandos we've spoken about. Project Zomboid, I haven't played that one for a while. Against the Storm, new DLC, early sneak peek. Okay, where we go. This is, and this here, another Hooded Horse game. Against the Storm is the best city builder that I've played, I've got to say. Like, this is the best for me. It's got shadows in it now. That's interesting. New DLC in the works. Cool, that's great. That's great. Okay, no, this is a great. This is again getting procedural generation to the degree that this game has it in a city builder is really cool. So yeah, this will be awesome. And Railroad Tycoon, you saw that was in my try list. I haven't actually played it yet, but it looks very good. What else have we got? Total Conflict Resistance. I haven't played that one for a while. Tiny Combat Arena, so workshop bug fixing and optimization. That's again a Microprose game. .age, Folkways. Today's update, I'm addressing the feedback. Okay, that's all right, that's good. Sins of a Solar Empire 2, I've got to play that as well. I haven't played the new one of that. Commandos is certainly ramping up, getting ready for things. Okay, well, that's all of the news out of the way. So now we can just talk about, well, we've now spoken about Commandos. I'll spend some time with Armour Brigade, and I'll also spend some time with Field of Glory Kingdoms as well. There's actually Field of Glory Kingdoms. Let me just have a quick look at that. I'll just close that off. We don't need that anymore, because I think if you do want to get it, you only have literally a day or so left. Oh no, it's already gone. No, you can get the bundle here. They've still got this. Okay, they've still got that. There's doesn't look like there's any timing on that one through there. Oh, there's me. It's one of my videos. They're using that for what doing through there. So this is again more lens-on stuff. These are really interesting, actually, just snippets into medieval life and stuff like that. But the new one is coming, so this is now oldish news in through here. So the new DLC will be on its way for Kingdoms, and I'll probably start it up, but you can get the bundle. Looks like there's no timer on that. This one, Kingdoms, I'm saying unfortunately, yesterday there was a special on Kingdoms, not a massive one, but there was a bit of you could get Kingdoms a bit cheaper. But in reality, if you don't have Field of Glory 2 Medieval, and you don't have Kingdoms, and you want to get one, get both. Just get the bundle. It's definitely worth it. Field of Glory 2 Medieval, to be able to play out the battles in the game is incredible. Like, it's in fact, I might even show you that, because you can play them in game, but you can also play them out of game. So if I go into, and when I was streaming the other day, I'll just open the game up and show you sort of where I am with it. And I actually think that I ended up overwriting my game. But I do planning on continuing on, even though what I was doing for Slytherin is now finished. I do plan on doing this a bit more with my own channel, and probably continue playing with what I was playing. Yeah, so I've got there was a bug report that I had. So this is where I left it. This is pre-battle, with what was going on. So I actually ended up playing out the battle. I'll show you how battles work in the game. So if I just go and load this one in, this is partway through a turn. The way the game works is it's a medieval empire type thing, or kingdoms that you're looking after. You're trying to manage it, and It's very combat rich in the way that it sort of does work, unlike, for example, Crusader Kings 3. But Crusader Kings 3 is very much character rich, and this game is much less so in that sense. So if you like the character aspect of Crusader Kings, then stay with Crusader Kings. If you like the if you want more tactical aspects and more strategic aspects in terms of combat, then Kingdoms by far is the way to go. But they cover the same sort of era really. And so in this case, we're at battle with England. We're just going in to fight the English forces. The game has an inbuilt system of like, just to quickly get through battles, of playing them out. So it still plays them out, but it plays them out as an auto battler. And so we can view the battle to see sort of what goes on. So if I go and do this one through here, like, this is now sort of showing. Now what we're seeing through here is we're in a forested area of England. We're playing as the Welsh forces. Our Welsh forces have got like a lot of cavalry. You can see through there, we've got Brythonic foot. We do actually have Ostmen as well, which are like heavy infantry. And we do have like skirmishers in through here as well. Now, with the way that the game itself works with combat, and I'll just very quickly explain what we're looking at on the screen, is that we've got this is in Nottingham, so we're looking at Nottingham Forest. I don't know. Well, it's a couple of generations before Robin Hood. We're talking I think we're in 1070s at the moment, so we haven't seen Richard the Lionheart or anything like that come into the game just yet. So now you can see the terrain defense of 2, which means that the defenders get a 2 bonus in terms of the way things work. This for me is going to be a difficult fight in what's going in through here. The frontage, because it's a forest, is very, very narrow. It's only got a frontage of 8, and so there is some issues in through there. They've also got like some light militia back in through here as well. The first phase, if I just go and start the battle, is going to be a ranged phase where the different ranged units will then fire at other units and try to sort of weaken them. Doesn't kill them as such. So these have taken a bit of damage. I don't think much of theirs took any damage. It then plays out in a series of different combats where we're attacking. We've got 1 extra die roll because he's got a level 2 in attack, so he ends up with 2 extra die rolls in through there. This one here, this is he's a psychopath, and so all the little bonuses sort of add up to different things in through here as well. And so in his case, he's actually only got a defense of 1, so he's got 1 extra die he can roll. If that was a 0, he'd only have whatever the roll is in through here. These are 10-sided dice. They have a combat rating. So this one here, this is just medium. This is medium militia back and through this other side. So this one has got a combat rating of 4. It's got a support bonus because of these English mercenary archers, which are very, very effective as support. So these are very good skirmish type units. So the total ranking there is 3. Like if we have a look at ours, our ranking there is 1. So our skirmishers only add 1 to the mix, but these ones add 3. They're purpose built to really push the English sort of spearmen to be able to give them good support. So these are just before the longbowmen come. So they're not using longbows, but they're still very, very effective. And so that gives 4 plus 3. And then we have the terrain bonus over through here because we're fighting in a forest, so they can actually defend a bit more easily. Ours have already taken a bit of damage. We've got a 5 combat rating. We have a support bonus because behind them we have this armoured noble cavalry, which does give them a bit of a support push along as well. And so we've got a base of 6, they've got a base of 9. When we just click on plus, we then roll the dice. We rolled a 10, they rolled an 8. We lost by 1, which means that we lose 1 point in through there. So that was fairly even, but we did lose that little bit of the combat. Go to the next one, and it just goes very quickly through these. This one, again, this is actually raw spearmen. They start off with a combat rating of 7. These ones have got they're clumsy. So what this is the actual spearmen don't fight well in forest because they're heavy infantry. This is why the Brythonic foot are in the middle of our one, and they also started off with medium militia there. All the rest of theirs are spearmen, and even the Huskarls are way over on the edge. Our guys in through here are Ostmen, which are, again, clumsy. So we're going to get a -2 there. They're not as effective in the forest, and so they don't fight well here. And so if I just quickly go through, there's a 4 difference there. We're going to struggle here. Oh, there we go. We lost by 1 again, which is actually not too bad. The next one we have is we have a combat rating of 8 against their combat rating of 7. Add all those different bonuses back in there again. Again, it's mainly terrain that's sort of helping them. Hopefully we win 1 or 2. Yeah, we won this one by 2. So we did a bit more damage to them. Just continue on. In this case, we're actually got a bit of an advantage into here because they're actually exhausted. Our archers did do some damage. And there we go, we should smash them. That's destroyed them, that's good. It's given us a slight advantage now in the actual combat itself. Go to the other side. Lost by 1, that's actually good. It's incredible what this system does in terms of balance within the game. It's actually works very, very well. This one we just got crushed. And unfortunately we just lost one of our Ostmen, which are very, very important to us. That's even. Both sides end up taking more damage than what they should. And then we end up having, we've got nothing left in terms of infantry, so now we have to put armoured cavalry into this one here. We have a slight advantage with this one. They're exhausted as well, they're clumsy. We're clumsy as well because we don't really fight well with these heavily armoured cavalry. So we did win that one and we destroyed them. Now that may be enough for us to win in battling in a draw. So in that instance, the battle has now ended with some losses on both sides, but nothing, it's status quo. That's actually sort of how that one does work. If I just go and end that one. So this is actually now still playing out the actual turn itself. And so now we have the second battle. So it'll keep on playing them out. I'll just go and skip past this combat. We keep on just sort of leveling out actually here. So this is I'll just keep on skipping through. So we're slowly sort of whittling away at each other's forces, and we finally win it there, but at great loss of our forces. We're also sort of seeing things. The reason I wanted to play this out is that there's actually a very strong army of Nottingham that has walked into the Welsh territories. Wales in this one, we've actually got more, than what we were sort of looking at before. I'll just open this one up. By the way, if you do get the game, these little tips can be very, very good. So they're really quite cool. So body mods for Quasi sounds fun, says Brian. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of the comments here again. So the Quasimorph is a great game. Feasible just work with one company in Quasimorph. I was thinking about being exclusive contractor to one of the religious fanatics. To be honest, I don't like the system, and I hope that they actually focus on that next. Is the whole trading system is so cumbersome in Quasimorph. It's really, I don't play it enough, long enough into the games before I just give up on them to actually be able to do any trading at all. To be honest, it's so unimportant to me. Severian Games saying yes against the Storm is very addictive and fun. Roguelike city build, yeah, it's great. Drex is saying, which do you prefer more, kingdoms or empires? Easily kingdoms for me. I just like I like that era of history. Ancient history doesn't. Feudal Glory empires is ancient, like from around the Roman era, whereas Feudal Glory kingdoms is medieval, and I do prefer medieval. Chris saying Old World is both combat and character driven. That's an option. Old World is great. That's a great game. Again, another hooded horse game. If I'm saying, by the way, Songs of Six is a great city builder, inspired by Dwarf Fortress with some massive battles and sieges. I've never gotten into it. I've tried getting into it a couple of times, but just never got there. So Naz is saying, hi Daz, don't forget to hit like. Yes. So 83 watching and only 29 likes so far. You got to like it, guys. We got to destroy this algorithm. Actually, no, we got to enhance the algorithm, not destroy it. I'm good at destroying the algorithm. I can do that on my own. And so Major Swifty said, missed the giveaway, got caught up with work. No, you haven't missed it. It's going to be at the very, very end. Probably in maybe half an hour. I think it would be about how much time we're going to need to sort of go through it. Anyway, let's just get out of here. So you can sort of see through there, we've taken over this territory. Our army has suffered a fair bit. We've still got some of the core units, or we've lost all of our Ostmen, we've lost our medium, so we're just back down to our cavalry. So that was actually a big, big loss. If we go back in and load it in again, and this is actually where, so that's the combat within the game itself, which is still functional, and I didn't sort of view all the others, but if we go into the pre-battle camp load in through there, so we just go and load her in. And Yeah, just let it do its thing. So this is halfway through a turn. It's a we go system, Kingdom. So you give all the orders and then you press play and then all the armies move around, do what they have to do, and then that's why their battle system is an auto battler, just so that you can just skip, just go straight through if you're playing, like if you don't need to be sort of like it'll just keep on processing the turn. Anyway, let's go and export the battle. So this one will then change that same battle that we had a look at. So in the forest of England, with all these different forces, so we're going to now move across, and it's automatically going to then open up Field of Glory to Medieval. So we then can play the battle out. This is what I love about it. Oh, we've got new patches which have just come in. Not sure when did that come in? Kingdom Battles. Ah, okay. So we've got so they're now getting ready for the release. Well, that must be. This is new. This is brand new. So Kingdom Battles added new nation names for Rajas and Tribes DLC. Cool. I'm not sure when that's coming out. Maybe we'll have a look and see if that's actually now been listed. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, I'll just go and click on OK. So whenever there's a patch, the game does have patch notes that it does show you what it's actually done. So the game now automatically starts off in your battle. It used to be that you had to then find the battle inside the system, but it's a completely different game. Different developers, same publisher, but the developers of this game and also of the other game actually work very, very closely together. And so in this case, what we have is a random map. But again, you can see that the forest is still very, very prevalent. And if I sort of zoom back out, that's the actual combat map that we then end up having. So we've got this particular map in through here. So we've just got narrow frontage. We've got a little bit of clear in the middle, but we've got like big forests. So if we had lots of skirmishes and stuff like that, they would actually perform very, very well in the forest itself. So they're good in the forest. The forces that we end up having, we've got all this cavalry. We've got heaps of cavalry. We've got our various groups in there. There's our Ostmen, which are these are good at fighting out in the open terrain, so they can still perform where they actually are. We saw that the other side had Huskarls as well. In this case, we've got the Brythonic Foot. These are our mediums. These actually can sort of work in the forest, but not very well. But they're much better than the Ostmen. The Ostmen really can't function there at all. If I just sort of scroll around, you can sort of see the various sort of forces we end up having in through there, plus all the different sorts of cavalry. I should point out, if I go Shift 3, I can then sort of go down even closer. The game, and this is actually where a lot of people then look at the game and think, it looks like it's crap, like with the actual look of the characters. These are designed to look like tabletop. Field of Glory, the Field of Glory system is a tabletop system, and the computer game, the Field of Glory 2 computer game, and the original Field of Glory, sort of the Ancients computer game, models the tabletop, very, very closely. So they work extremely closely together. So you are sort of playing a tabletop. So they made the graphics. Even look at the ground. Like it's as if it's been painted. So they try to make this game look like a tabletop game, because it really is the miniatures rule set essentially for the tabletop system is what we're playing in this particular game. So Kingdoms is associated with Field of Glory, like the Field of Glory tabletop, but only in the sense that it can export the battles out to it. Calling it Field of Glory Kingdoms, it could have just been called Kingdoms or Medieval Kingdoms, or whatever it might have wanted to be. But what they really wanted was to give us players the option to play the game, the battles, if we wanted to, in this tabletop system. And so that's why I do suggest that you grab both, because both games are awesome in what they do. Field of Glory Kingdoms is awesome in the sense that it actually presents this whole veneer of managing a kingdom turn by turn. It is a self-contained game. You don't have to get this game to play it, but the tactical battles are just awesome in this game. So if I was going to be playing this particular tactical battle, I'll just go Shift 3 again, just so we're not sort of looking at that one through there. If I go and just press the Q and E keys. So in this case, I'm just going to go and set up the battle. I can move these forces into here, and I'm thinking that I'm probably going to need to be coming through and fighting here or here as for my actual infantry. So rather than having them at the back, I'm just going to go and grab these. I'll put this one's got a general on board. I'll just go and throw that one into there. I'll put all of these Ostmen together, so they can only sort of operate there. I'm thinking that we end up with the Brythonic Foot that we sort of saw there before. I'll throw them into that location and that location. But they're not great in sort of like in these woods or in rough terrain. So you have to be mindful. Like you have to learn the system to be able to sort of play it effectively. There's more Brythonic Foot there. Just go and place that one on that side. Cavalry wise, I can sort of have these in the forest. They can come out of the forest. They'll be a bit hidden if they sort of stay in the forest there like this. But let's just sort of go and move them through here. I won't spend too much time with this. But this one here, I want it to be associated with that group, so I'm just going to go and place that one inside inside that side. We'll do this one as well. Where's the leader there? There it is. So be part of that group. So this is just my deployment. I just want to get the cavalry so they can sort of come out of the areas. I can also just rotate these as well, just so that they're pointing in the direction that we want them to point. We've got skirmishers. I'll put all the skirmishers together, and again just associate them with their own group. And then we've just got our main leader, the Commander-in-Chief, Gronwy. So we'll place him there. And so that's essentially now set up with our combat. If we then just end our turn, are you sure? Yes. So we now are playing an actual tactical game. That's the enemy army, and we sort of see, similar to what we saw there before, there's the mercenary archers that we'd seen. There could be hidden archers for all we know in the forest, so we don't know what's actually in through there. Here's all these spearmen that we saw there before. These are offensive spearmen. There's those Huskarls, which are very, very strong. That's the strongest unit. Going further back, the actual the Commander-in-Chief. So Ranulf de Ruth is a mounted Huskarl, so this is sort of like their proto-knights. These aren't knights. These are earlier than the knights that we sort of associated with knights on horseback. But very strong nonetheless. I can press I think. No, I can't press I. Is it control click? Yeah, control click will then tell me what they do. So I sort of get the information that way about how they it does work. It's a game that it's an incredibly sort of accurate game in what it does do from a tabletop perspective. If I just go across now, I can start to now move all my forces up. Just get them all marching forward. Get that one marching as well. So they're trying to make their way out of the forest. So just move the skirmishers up through there. Them all out and about. So that's all we need to do initially. They may not move for a few turns. Like the AI will sometimes just wait and see what you end up doing. The AI is very good in this, by the way. Oh, I screwed up that. I'll just quickly sort of show what happens here. So we're not getting through those woods there, slowing us down. So there could be units still hidden away. There's more Huskarls that we've now just seen coming back in through this other side. Here they come. Now we have the advantage of the hill. Some of them just wandered off into the woods where they're hidden now. Got some peasants at the back. They're moving off into the woods. So the skirmishers are... Well, here we go. We've just come across some other skirmishers. They're charging us. They're fragmented and they're falling back. So that's... and these are just skirmisher units. These are mercenary archers in through here again as well. So let's go and hit this one. Did fall back. Won't play this for too long, but it's just a really, really good system. It's evading. Now we're not attacking that one. We'll now hit this one as well. It's broken, so it's the first retreat. The idea of the game is to get up to a level. If you sort of open this one up, you can sort of see you need to rout at least 40% of their troops and 25% more than what you've lost. So essentially, that's what the goal is to break 40% of their forces, or at least 25% more than what you've lost. So if it's a close combat, they'll just keep on fighting and fighting and fighting. So in this case, I'm just going to now charge this one. Charge. Rear attack. We've actually managed to catch it, and it's now broken as well. And we actually haven't end up sort of skipping in around past the enemy. I can hit this one as well, but I've got to be careful. We now hit right where the spearmen are. Now the spearmen are very, very strong. Let's move these across and see if we can sort of get in around them. Facing is incredibly important in this game. So if I move down, I can move into the forest. And it's Ostmen as well. I'll do this. I'll just move them in. But if they go into rough ground, these forces become disordered. If I move them into woods, they become severely disordered. If they can close that gap, which I don't think they can, so that's why I've done it. I've moved them into the woods now, just so I can sort of then deal with them again afterwards. But these guys can actually operate in the rough and in the woods. So I'll just move them across as well. Bring the Commander-in-Chief up in behind them. And so now this one here, what I want to do is just try to break my way through. Getting around these forces. I don't want to be hitting them head on. I could if I wanted to. Actually, maybe I will actually just get it ready for this. So I'll just play a little bit into what's going on here. Just move our way through the woods if we can, get in around them. But we've got to be a bit careful of these mounted Huskarls. So that'll do us. We'll just end our turn there. But I love the interaction between this game and Kingdoms. I've got to admit, after I finished playing the Slytherin game, I finished doing the live stream, but I then did already play this battle out, just because I really enjoy it. They've been disrupted. They're attacking this group because we followed them in so close. They managed to attack, but these are not great at attacking the spearmen, and so they're sort of so they have sort of issues in through that other side. They're coming back in again for more interaction with us. Just turn and shoot at those. It's indecisive, and we'll attack this as well. Just with the skirmishers, and they've been disrupted, which means that they fight less effectively. The little yellow that you see through there. And again, I won't spend too much time with this one, but we do now have a flanking attack here. Oh, hang on, I've now moved this force. If I move, actually I'll move this one up into this position. They're very unmaneuverable in this in the woods. I'll move that one back. Let's charge this one. You can see through there that in the impact phase, which is when they join, we actually have a good chance of winning this one. The melee phase is not so good afterwards if we get stuck in the battle. So usually cavalry will charge in and then fall back like this. And so I can do this all the way through with all of these. You can see that we have a bit of an advantage in the impact phase. Now they've been stuck in the fight, which is not terrible. And that one, we actually managed to disrupt them, but we're staying in the fight itself. So they've been disrupted, and that works. Let's now move these guys in. Now we have, with our Ostmen, I can actually go and attack them, but I want to move it from here, and then I can actually sort of do the attack down this way. And again, it was just even. And I can now go and put more support back into here with the Ostmen. So my Ostmen are like Huskarls, but just not quite as good. So we'll just get these ready to help out with these other attacks. There's the Huskarls there. And so the Huskarls are getting ready to attack me here, but I can now put pressure on their flank. I can't turn that unit. That's rough ground as well. We'll just move those guys into there because that's what they're good at. And we'll move this one in behind. So we're starting to now sort of push this flank around. What I can do here is just move them in this direction. I can't do much else there. Next turn we're going to be able to get a flanking attack there, which will actually really allow us to dominate this particular fight. I'm going to turn to face the Huskarl unit, but the Huskarls will be too strong for us. And I'm going to move this one across as well to look to see if we can get in behind it. And we can turn that one as well, just to get it facing the right way. We're stuck here with this fight. Now we see there we get a loss because we're now in the melee phase. This one here I should have an advantage. Yeah, I do have an advantage against that one. It's held firm though, unfortunately. And now we have to do this one. We held firm even though we lost a lot of forces. So we're in a bit of trouble with this particular group of armoured noble cavalry. So the spearmen do well against the cavalry. In fact, if we have a look at the spearmen, if we go and control click on them, we can sort of see these are undrilled heavy foot, and they've got different what's called points of advantage. So during the melee phase, they have plus 100 points of advantage versus any troops, which is sort of fairly standard. Armour advantage up to 25 points of advantage versus less well-armoured foot, unless these have heavy weapons. And they have an up to 25 less versus well-armoured mounted, 0 versus artillery or elephant. So they get a bit of an advantage against armoured forces. And so they're not the greatest quality. And if I hover over that one, and you can sort of see if I push the, I can then see what the actual stats will then be with those points of advantage, and it tells me what they're good at, and what we're, how we're going to then sort of struggle with them. So so armored noble cavalry. So we've got the two different offences then going back through. The bottom one is against a group that has actually been disordered, or disrupted, which means we have a big advantage, whereas the top one, they're not disordered, but they will be after the next round. I'll just quickly, I don't think I can do much else in here. Yeah, I think we've actually, if I press tab, we'll then go through the units that haven't moved. That's okay. Just end our turn there. So they're routing away. And so it's very much a matter of trying to get in and flank units, particularly when you've got cavalry like what we've got. So the archers are trying to do what they have to do. Now this is dangerous for us, and we have become disrupted. Their two disrupted forces will now even that one out a little bit as well. So we're sort of stuck in here, but our Ostmen should ultimately get the advantage in here. So they're choosing which combat suits them. That one should be fairly even. Yeah, that's even. When they're both disrupted, they don't fight with much gusto. Okay, we won, but they still held firm. Now that one is still holding firm. Wow. All right. So what we end up having here is we now actually have a situation where these guys are fighting us. We're disrupted. I can now hit them in the flank with this particular unit because they're engaged, and so this is a flank charge, and their cohesion will drop on contact. You can see we get a massive win here. Do the flank attack, disrupted straight away, and they didn't drop any more than that, unfortunately. The Huskarls are now sort of moving down this side, and they're not attacking, which is a bit of a problem because I'm not going to be able to get the flank really, and I'm going to have to sort of block. Well, I can actually move that one. I can't move that one because we're blocked in by the Huskarls. So I'm just going to have to go down and meet this particular one. We do have a win here, so we'll charge that one. They held firm but fell back. I'm going to move this cavalry in, and I can rotate it a quarter turn. Actually, that's a bit of a problem. That might not be the best way to do it, but anyway, I'll just show you how this one works. We're going to now charge these. We should catch them, hopefully. No, we didn't quite. Just keep on putting pressure on with the others. These I really have to just stay where I am. The Huskarls have now locked me down, but they're trying to protect themselves, which is, you know, that's good what they're doing. Let's keep on fighting these. Now that we've sort of got, yeah, that's disrupted them, that's going to give my cavalry an advantage. These Huskarls should have an advantage here as well. But again, it's been very, very even with what we're sort of seeing through there. This one here, we now actually have the ability to smash this. There we go. We've now fragmented that one. Before they became disrupted, they had an advantage. They're disrupted, so we have an advantage here. These guys haven't attacked us, and they probably won't. If I attack them, it's really not good for me. So I'm going to, I'm just going to stay where I am for now. Let's go and keep on attacking these. Let's become fragmented and falling back. These guys are still fighting. Yeah, don't get the chance to do anything with those. We got disrupted there. So that was medium militia. That was not actually just skirmishers. I thought they were skirmishers. So we're in a bit of trouble here in this area here. I'm gonna smash these again with the charge. Again, we just bounce back out again. If they attack my units, I can't really get that one out. I can't really get that one out either. So I'm sort of stuck in the woods there. Everyone else has now sort of had their turn. I'll just end my turn there. I'm not going to be charging the Huskarls, but I will actually turn to face them. If they attack me, I'm going to run. So I'm sort of trying to leave gaps in around my forces to be able to run away. Yeah, let's just end our turn here. So I've only got 6% of theirs have now run. Oh, now we became fragmented. They rallied over here. They dispersed, the ones that were back that side. Now bringing their forces back out. They caught us because we had to maneuver. Now this is going to be okay, even though we're fragmented. Yeah, we've now broken, now running. We have to then do melee checks when we break like that. We've now fallen back from that particular fight. And again, see how they're not attacking me because, yeah, there we go, we've just broken that one. Now that's disrupted the other two on the side because it's broken through. This one here is still holding firm. This is our Commander-in-Chief, so this is Gronwy. Let's do the attack, and they did hold firm. Now I can't turn an attack in one go, so I'm just going to do a quarter turn. So I can't actually attack at this stage. I can move off, but they're sort of stuck with them. These guys should be okay. You've got a good win through here, but they hold on. I can attack either one of these. I'm going to turn and attack this one because I get an advantage. It's a flank charge, but it's not engaged with anything else. So we just have a bit of an advantage. I'm going to rotate, which then locks this one in. This one can no longer run off because these guys are holding them in, but these archers are now putting pressure on that with what's actually happening through there. Huskarls still aren't doing anything, so we can't do much there. Now, what I can do is, I would almost prefer to actually hit the Huskarls, but we have a chance of losing that one. If I hit these guys, we should be able to win it. I think this one's still sort of stuck really with where it is, but I now relieve the pressure of it getting a flanker charge. So I think I'll just leave it where that is and just get the help that's actually happening in through this other side. This one here, we should win this one fairly easily. Yep, nothing at this stage. The cavalry can just keep on coming in and charging these. we're fully engaged there. We'll keep on charging in here. We're falling back. Nothing much I can do there. We're sort of locked in with those. Now if I attack that one, we do have a very slight chance of winning this one, but it's not good for either one of us. We did fall back. Just get it so they can't do a flank charge. Oh, we managed to fragment them. That's actually very good. And we know that there's more down this way. There they are. Just keep on finding them. I might as well finish this off because we're sort of almost there now. I can actually hit that one. I'll do it. See if we can get them to run. God, they're holding firm here. I thought we'd actually have them for sure. Smash them. That Ostmen. So nothing much happening. I'm keeping these in reserve. I don't want to really push with these so much. Actually, I could if I wanted to. Yeah, I will actually. What that does is it then allows me to then come back in and do other attacks in through there. Now that's actually not a flanking charge. That one's not either, but I will still smash it. God, they're still holding firm. Unbelievable. All right, we'll still keep those back where they are. Just end our turn there. So they're running. They're charging us, and we've got nowhere to go, so we can't escape back from there, unfortunately. They're now facing us. Oh, now we're fragmented. That's not good. It's even with the Huskars. And they're fragmented. Surely they're going to break. They've got to break. They've broken. They've lost too many forces. Everyone else held firm around them. They're fragmented. They've gone straight to fragmented, which is good. So we'll end up smashing them. Holding firm at the moment. They can't really fragment more than once unless they auto break. If they lose too many forces, that's broken now. And we now should get a rear attack against the Huskars. They're broken automatically, and the Huskars are now completely surrounded. So we've got a big advantage in here. They've fragmented their spearmen, and they've now routed as well. And that's just enough for us to win. No, yes it is. Because it's got to be 25 different. They've been disrupted and fragmented, so they're going to be crushed. This is all just auto battling at this end here now. Our troops are sort of, yeah, there we go. Enemy has lost heart. So we've just got to the 40%, and so that then, once that's been played out, then comes back into the game. So that's a big victory to us. So we can sort of see it completely played out. Do you want to launch? Do you want to close Field of Glory 2 Medieval and launch Kingdoms? So I just go yes, and then that instance it then comes back out again, and then we'll go back into the main game and just continue on fighting. So in this case, if I go in and load in, so import the most recent Field of Glory 2 Medieval battle. So I just go and do that. So they're completely different games, different developers, but they handshake. You know, it's not. It would be great if it did it in game, but it's actually, but it does it sort of this way. So if Drex is saying Field of Glory battles, yeah, I thought it would be a bit faster than that. I thought I'd be able to finish it a bit quicker than what I did, to be honest. But in that case, it was we still got a good result. Some of theirs got killed. Some of them are still actually operational. We won the battle through in this one, but a lot of theirs did escape. But they now trail off into England. So we end up in sort of the same position, but still with our forces much more intact than what they were at the end of the last session. But the English forces are as well after that particular battle. So still processing the WeGo turn. and then we're sort of into the next phase. But it's a very deep game, this one. It does it sort of abstracts and models medieval society very, very well. So it's it's very good. The one thing is, as I said before, really the one area that where it's not as strong as Crusader Kings is in the role play and the characters and the graphics, I would say, as well. Hi, Battle Mode, how you going? Saying forgot this was on tonight. Yeah, we actually we started off with Empire of the Fading Suns, and yes, actually Andrew was in before as well. I was mentioning about the podcast, and so you'll be able to tell people now when that one's going to be going up. But that's and also so we'll be doing the giveaway actually pretty much. Yeah, so no, we've still got to talk about Armour Brigade. Still got a little bit of things I need to talk about. So I was going to talk about Armour Brigade as well, which also releases to Steam this week. So so if you've got the yeah, it's almost over, says Drexy. Yeah, nearly, a little bit of time. I'll just click on the plus there. So then we're then into the next phase of the game. But anyway, this is a awesomely good game. So I've got a save there for essentially where I got back to the same position where I currently am. But let's exit the game. How do we go? Okay, so but those two games, great games. So highly recommend those. Now, what did I get up in the chat? Where is it? Dominic saying, I wanted to like it, but it felt too theocratic for my taste. I'm not sure which one you are talking about there. The gaming saying, hey Daz, do you plan on continuing the intermediate Dwarf Fortress tutorial? Was 4 videos the final one? I can't even remember it, to be honest. I would be abandoning it, I think, because I don't have any more save games. So I don't even know what I was doing with that, to be honest. I don't know how old that one was. I've got a goldfish memory. If I'm not doing the same thing day after day, I completely forget what I'm doing. Major Switchy saying SOS. What's that one? Which game's that one? Sins of a Solar Empire? No, that'd be SOSE. It's getting much more tedious and less fun with each update, in my opinion. Is that Sins of a Solar Empire? That's what you're talking about? I'm not sure which game you're talking about there. So Cyberfully is saying feels more like puzzle Tetris than a battle, to be honest. As in the in-game auto battler system, you don't have any control over the auto battler system in Kingdoms, if that's what you're referring to. And I'm sorry if I'm missing which one it is. Drex is saying, I love the Field of Glory games, but I never got into Empires. Kingdoms, just bought it. Yeah, Kingdoms is... I prefer Kingdoms. I think the mechanics are a bit more intuitive in Kingdoms as well. But at the moment, you can get the bundle for 25% off to get both games if you don't have both games. And I do recommend getting Medieval. I really enjoy playing those combats out, like using Medieval to do it. So Cyberfully is saying, where'd you get up to? We got. Wouldn't it be better if we're one turn per unit back and forth instead of moving the whole army in a single turn? Would it be better if you can do it unit by unit, but you can do it. I think we're talking about Field of Glory, the Field of Glory Medieval that I was just playing. That last little tactical bit. You can. If you're not too close to the enemy, you can do the whole lot. If you're too close, you have to do it unit by unit. So we've sort of got that one through there. We've got the what else did we get up to? Drex is in saying Field of Glory battles take like 10 to 20 minutes, so it'd be nice to play in bite-sized play sessions. Yeah, more intense than I thought. Says Cyberfully. It's the tabletop system is very much about positioning, and you saw there that those Huskars didn't attack us, but they were locking in 3 different units. So there's a lot. If I was actually doing an actual live stream on that, I would have spent 3 or 4 times longer to explain what every single unit was doing and why they weren't attacking or were attacking, and what they were doing by doing it. Even just by turning when we turned our the cavalry that got furthest in. There was Huskar cavalry that was coming in, which would have got a flanking attack against other units of ours. They would have got a flanking attack against some of our Ostmen, I think, which we had brought forward. So I needed to lock them in by just turning my unit without attacking or anything. Just by turning the unit, it locked that cavalry unit in, and they could not move off. So we were now a threat on their flank, even though we couldn't do the attack. They then turned back to face us, so that they then met that threat, but they still didn't attack us, and so there was like a standoff. And so the tabletop system has a real lot of depth, like a hell of a lot of depth. It's I think it's the best of those sorts of systems that I've ever seen, like by a mile, for playing medieval and ancient battles. People have asked for it to be brought through into the Napoleonics as well. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but it's such a good system in terms of locking down units and then trying to get advantage through height, through flanking charges, stuff like that. So there's a lot more to it than just moving forces up and fighting. The facing is incredibly important. You can't learn the game in one session. Like it's one of these games that really is very, very interesting. Sci-Fi Snob is saying those who fight and run away live to fight another day. Yes. So Major Switching, that's weird. I'm not sure which one we're talking about. Drex is saying it's almost over. Well, we've still got to talk about Armoured Brigade, which I will talk about. So we're fully saying how's diplomacy in this game? It's simplistic in terms of the actual Kingdoms game. Like Feudal Glory Medieval has zero. I won't say it's got zero campaign ability. But it's all about the battles. Whereas Kingdoms does have a diplomatic facing where you can do different things diplomatically in the game, but it's simple. Like it's not overly complex. Most things in Kingdoms have been distilled down to their trying to make it sort of work in a simulation aspect without getting too onerous. But it is a complex game. Battlemate's saying I'll try to get it up for tomorrow afternoon. There we go. Did Andrew let you know about the procedural generation stuff? Well, we actually ended up just before he arrived. Actually, I managed to figure out that yes, it is procedurally generated. Is the answer. We did a test with a few different planets, and which was very, very cool. So that was great. Tom T saying my wife says I can forget my pants if I'm not reminded. No forgetfulness, just classic dementia. Yeah, I know what you mean. Kingdoms is kind of dumbed down in my opinion, says battle mode. I prefer Empires. I'm the opposite. I think it's exactly the same system. You get a lot more stuff in Kingdoms. Empires has got like a very abstract way of progressing through the game, which I don't think people actually really really embraced. The trade system in Empires is very, very difficult to understand. That is simple in Kingdoms. So battle mode, you are 100% wrong as per usual, and I wish we had a corner because I could then pop you in the corner. But no, I'm only joking, of course. But no, battle mode. One thing I like about discussion with battle mode is that we love the same games, like seriously love the same games, but we have very, very different takes on what makes them work and what doesn't. And I love the discussions that we end up having. And it's very rare that we actually do agree on certain things. I mean, it's not that rare, I guess, but we have so many arguments about games privately, and like even just chatting amongst ourselves. It's sort of I do really, really value being pushed by battle mode like that. So Drexy said slap him down, and then Nightbot slapped Drexy down. So there's more where that came from, says Sister Drexy. Oh, isn't that poetic justice? All right, let's get into Armoured Brigade 2, which is coming. So I'll just go and not with a U. I don't know why it's the American version. Now you see there it's only got Armoured Brigade at this stage. But will it give me 2? Yeah, so 2 is coming. So release date the 8th of April. That's today. Okay, so it is releasing today. I thought it was releasing tomorrow, to be honest. Oh, 18 hours. Okay, the game plans to unlock in approximately 18 hours from now. So why would you want this game? I'll go through we'll start this one. I'll spend a bit of time with this because this is awesome as well. So just what they do in this particular game. It's a game, as I said before, I'll be streaming this week. So pretty probably either tomorrow or the next day, I would think, with the release coming up. You can see there's no user reviews. It hasn't been released yet. It has been released on Matrix, so if you've got the Matrix version of the game, you will have been playing it. You'll get a free key for Steam. I've actually got my free Steam key. Now, I was told that it wouldn't work, but I did test it before streaming here today, and it seems to be working. So I can show you the Steam version. It's identical to the Matrix version, basically. Actually, no, it's not at the moment. I've actually got the version that is released tomorrow with the Steam version, but so it's just one. But I think it's basically the same version. If we have a quick look at the so the West German, this came out a couple of weeks ago. Armour Brigade 2's West German vehicle trailer is out on Steam on April the 8th. Yeah, so this is what they've been doing is they've been essentially sort of just it's almost been like an early access period that they've actually sort of had on Matrix. And so they're using the grognards from Matrix to sort of the player base there to sort of just finesse the game over the last few months, and now it's sort of ready for release into the general populace here on well, not here on Steam, but on Steam. And so and I think this is a good idea for some of these sorts of games. But this is really quite it's an entry level. It's not difficult to play, but it's difficult to master. If I go to the community hub, we'll just have a quick look and see, has there been any, you've got the trailer there. So they've been adding new units, the Leopard 1, this is an article about that in February. Yeah, how does this compare to the combat mission games? That's a good question, actually. So this is actually just somebody that actually asked this question. I'll just go and open up discussions, because at this stage there shouldn't be too many. Yes, 2D light. So I'll just see what people actually answer that one. So this is actually this is interesting. It's a really good question. Oh, that was done in March. Okay, so yeah, this was since no one has responded. Here's my penny's worth. I've played nearly all the Combat Mission 2 series BF versions. My Steam time will show minimal for all. It runs more fluidly than the CM series, albeit the graphics details far less. If you ever exploded a CM archive, yeah, look, I'll just answer it. The Combat Mission does very, very well is model every single bullet, every single character, every single point on any vehicle. So it's more detailed if what it does do. When you position it, you can position it behind a specific tree. So you've got all these different sorts of things where the individual aspect of Combat Mission is much more refined. So so in that sort of sense, you're talking more smaller forces than what Armour Brigade actually sort of typically fields. So Armour Brigade, and in fact I'll show you in the game, because I think this is the easiest way to sort of explain how Armour Brigade actually does work. So that's the Matrix version. This is actually the new Steam. Let's just test the Steam. I didn't actually start a new game, but I was told it wouldn't work for me. But I'll just see how it goes. So I'm playing on a largish UI scale, and I'll just go to screen grab, a larger screen grab in through there. So with Armour Brigade, I'll just go into it like a new game. This is if I go into the like you can this one aspect alone is brilliant. And so I'll just talk a little bit about this one. You can play a single mission, generate a mission, start a campaign, or generate a campaign. So if I go into a mission, I've got all these different missions down through here. I've also got user ones, and I can also then go to Steam Workshop, which will be coming. There'll be nothing there yet, I don't think. Yeah, there's nothing there yet. So, but that will be coming. So we'll end up with where people can actually build their own missions. So that's one way of playing, but that's really not in my opinion, the interesting way of playing. I won't bother with the generate mission, because we'll sort of be doing that anyway. If I go to the campaigns, we have a fair number of different campaigns in through here as well, sort of like US forces versus Soviet. This is actually sort of like, you can see 83, 87, 1990. So it's around that era, 74, things like this. So we're sort of talking a couple of decades in the Cold War. It's like when the Cold War goes hot. And again, we're going to have Steam campaigns, etc., etc. But this is not really where the game shines. Where the game really does shine, if I go into a new game, and generate a campaign. I then actually have, now if you've played the original Armour Brigade, you will have actually come across the, like you would have, and you bought all the DLCs, you'd end up with all these different maps. I was really surprised to see all of these maps in the game. What you got in the base game was the Fort Irwin National Training Center, which you can play in America, and I forget which one it was. I think it was just the Fulda Gap. I think that was it in the base game. Then you actually had to get all these other things in DLCs. Armour Brigade 2 uses the same map system as what Armour Brigade 1 used. You may be thinking, well, why would you get one over the other? It's when you get into the game that it changes, because it then becomes all 3D. And so these are real maps set from that era. If anyone lives in any of these areas, you'd be able to go into the village and actually, possibly even maybe not see your exact house or anything, but you can really get the topography of these different areas. And so, and all of these maps now have been added in. So you've got like a heap of different maps. This one's in France, the Hof Gap in through there as well, Lubeck. You've got different water areas. You can actually set up, and so you can see there when I zoom in, this would be a combat where you've got to take bridges, for example. If you go back to the North German plain, if you're in here, you're looking at very, very dense forest. And every time you come across a water course, you then have to essentially fight the water course. So a lot of you can play, I'll keep on going with this just to sort of show you how this one works. I won't get into it too much. The Plizen region, southeast Finland, I quite like just because of the water. It does make the games almost impossible to generate a campaign. Let's go and generate one. And so what we need to do to actually generate, it says left click to add waypoints, right click to finish or restart. So if I go and start here, and I then just go and say, okay, look, I want to go across that bridge there. I'm just going to left click, and then we'll finish over here. And we'll have that as the other side. So just go and click there and then right click. And so it's now trying to generate a campaign across this map, this real map. And it found one. It actually does a better job than what it started. Now, our starting point is going to be this area through here where we've got like a bit of forest, not too much hills. There's a hill in the middle of this particular one. That's our starting map. And then what it's done is it said, okay, if you win this combat, if you win it sort of like fairly closely, you then go to this map in through here, where we will then need to try to get, well, the bridge is on the back edge of it. Then the next one is actually where the river is in the middle. And so getting across that one would be fairly difficult. Then we go to this one. If we keep on pushing it back, pushing this one. So the longer we into it, the sort of like the bigger that one's going to then go. And if the enemy wins it, we're going to be pushed back through this farmland and back down to that location there. So we'll just go into done. So I'll just go and click on this one through here. I'll play. I've got all the DLC forces. So I've got USSR, Finland, FRD, the German Democratic Republic, British Army, Poland, US Army. So I've got like a fair few of them in through here, and again I can sort of just chop and change these. I've got the date, and this will then dictate what forces I have available. Like if let's just say that they've just finished off the German forces, so GDR versus so the FRG and through here. So the two different types of German forces, for example. And so if I go that way, it just says, just to sort of show it, if I just go and click on done, I'll, what a unit selection, I'm just going to make them auto and auto, that way I don't have to worry about it. This is sort of how it sets up I won't go through how to grab your units, but essentially it's going to create like a group based on combat points that we end up having. We'll just go and click on done. So you can then actually have all these different, so it's a dynamic campaign, which is what we're playing. We're playing in southeast Finland, the two different Germanys. You've got the player character, you can put that one in, so you can actually have like a player character on the screen. If that dies, your game is over. You've got other sorts of things you can sort of then turn on or off. I'll just leave all them off for now. Just go into play. And so it's automatically sort of built a tank company for us and tank platoon with what we've sort of gotten through that other side. We're playing with the Eastern Bloc with the T-55s and things. So and again, it's sort of with other things there. I'll just click on done. I'll just so we can get into it. But I will be doing a detailed live stream on this one, and so you can see through there, that's that hill that we were looking at there initially. And so as I sort of come back through, this is very much looking like the old Armour Brigade, like when we sort of look at the loadouts. We have sort of objectives that we then have to go and get. So this is a meeting engagement. So we have a couple of different objectives. We have a bit of a no man's land as well in the middle of the map, which is sort of from there through to there. And in the middle here, we can actually then have scout units. So scout units can then be positioned, and that's what these are. So I can sort of go and grab these, and then I can just go and space. Yeah, I can just use space to then sort of go and position these wherever I feel like positioning them. If I just go and press space and through this other side, I can then sort of set my forces up. So that's one way of sort of then having a look at it. I can zoom right in down to the ground level. So it's not as detailed. It's the scope is bigger than Combat Mission. It's very similar in a lot of ways, but the real big benefit here, which you never had in Armour Brigade 1, is you can do this. You can now sort of start to zoom down and actually have a real look at the topology or topography of what you're playing in, and get an idea of what they can see with what you're doing. So it feels like Combat Mission to a large degree, where we're now going in on that little scout unit back in through here. So they will still, and you'll notice that it's sort of every single square that we see here is essentially a pixel from that overview map that we had. But this is real world terrain, and so this essentially, like if we took this hill, we wouldn't be able to see anything from here because the trees are too high. So is that a good location? Maybe not. So there's going to be a lot of fighting in the trees. There's a lake there again, this is all based off historical maps. Got some open areas in through there. This would be a fairly difficult area to fight in, to be honest, because there'd just be a lot of forest fighting. So to actually find it, you'd have to be using helicopters and all sorts of stuff to then sort of make sense of it. But being able to get down and see exactly what angles you can get with different things, like we're thinking, okay, look, we've got you got buildings that you can sort of then go and take over as well. What vision do we have? If we can get out to this area, this looks pretty good actually, this farmland. Like to be able to sort of take this area through here. And again, this is from real world maps. So this area through here is really where we'd be wanting to go. You can see where I am in the map, and through here I've still got like a lot of the map that I haven't played on yet, back over this other side. I can change the maps down to smaller sizes and so on and so forth. So this is like a gents Truppen platoon. So let's have a look at this one through here. We sort of just start to move across to it. So you can see how far back it is. The scale is really, really awesome. It's very, very cool. So this is sort of like a group off to the side here of armored, like an armored personnel carriers. I'm thinking that's what that should be. And so they'll have troops on board. And again, you've got very similar sorts of approaches with the way it then sort of works. Now, when I give it orders, and the thing I was concerned about before I started playing the game, because I've been playing this since it first came out on the Matrix servers, I was worried that it was going to abstract into each of these pixel areas and not really be like Combat Mission. I thought it was just going to be sort of abstract points. But they really do find positions, and it then becomes more like Combat Mission, where you give them orders to go to each actual square, but then they'll do their own thing at those locations based on what you then end up doing. So we've got these sorts of forces. Again, like Combat Mission, they can be set to, like if I go and click on this particular unit, this is motivated. I've got different orders in through there. I can unload or reattach. Standard operating procedures. I've got all sorts of stuff, unload on contact, yes, things like that. So I can tell it exactly what to do. And this guy will he will duck down as soon as there's any sort of problem. So he'll just sort of stay in that particular location until he's sort of ready to go. So this is it's an awesome game. There's the big map, by the way, that we've been playing on. So that's sort of where we are. That's that bridge that we were then looking at. So we're still just in the outskirts of it. I won't play the game as such, but I will be playing it, as I say, in the coming days. I did want to show it because I know that a lot of you will really like this game. It's a very interesting game because you can play preset maps, but you can play these as well, and it's better than random maps, because the overall aspect is just so big. But I'll be playing a much smaller map. I can tell you that right away. But it's not easy as well. This game, it's sort of it is challenging with your combined arms, with what you can then go and do. All right, well, I'll leave that there because I will be covering this one. Now we've got yep. So Lewis is saying Umber Brigade 2 was one of my favourite games of 2024. Yes, well, and it will be the Matrix game, and this game will be the same. I'll just go back in and go into the insert. There we are. So, but yeah, I think a lot of you will like this game. To be honest, it's sort of a game that I was surprised at how much the 3D, because it wasn't 3D the previous game. But I was surprised at how much the 3D added to the game. It really added an awful lot in terms of appreciating and understanding the game and having fun with it. Before, you had to use line of sight tools to be able to figure out what was going on. So, when you click on something, you then had like line of sight, what can you see? If you're there, you can see down through that side. They can see down through there. You can see a little bit over there type thing. This is still useful, but being able to get the 3D aspect as well, it's the best of both worlds. But I will be going through this in detail, as I said before. Okay, so Drex is saying, hoping the new combat mission engine is a lot better than the current one. Actually, I quite like the current one, to be honest. I mean, it has changed a lot in recent times, but I didn't know there was a new one coming. Castro saying, I've been having a lot of fun learning the combat mission series, so looking forward to the Umber Brigade 2 as well. Yeah, so the scope is a bit different. The way that you sort of work, you can see it looks like it's in grid, like it is in a grid system, whereas combat mission isn't so much. Like it's more detailed combat mission, but the scope is tighter. So Matthew's then sort of saying, so this is a fictional Cold War variant, not World War I or World War II. Yes, it's Cold War. It's a Cold War gone hot. And you've got different forces. You've got like Finnish forces. You've got all sorts of different things that you can play as. It's very, very cool. And you can play from very, very small forces up to very, very large forces. So I'll certainly be just playing sort of smallish forces. That's sort of where I tend to like these sort of games. But I'm saying, Tom, where I finally found someone who agrees with me there. What did Tom... No, that's, hang on, what's Tom talking about here? Just have a quick look. What did he say? Sorry, as being an old rat crawling in deep dungeons, ASCII, it's still my preferred mode of operation. What was that to do with? Rat crawling, ASCII is still my preferred. I'm not sure whether you're talking about Dwarf Fortress or some other game. Yeah, did I miss any other ones? Yeah, I probably did. I'm sorry, guys. So, yeah, no, I can't think of it. I think we're okay there. All right, so this concept is really cool. Yeah, all right, the campaign maps are cool. Yeah, they're very, very good. It's one of these things, like, and I haven't really shown, like, this is not a good map. If I go back out and just go back into the save and exit and just go into new game again. I'll go into something where there's a bit more interest, I guess. But if we go into, again, if I go to a generator mission, I've got the same sort of deal here. I can just go into a single area. Even the Fort Irwin Training Centre, you can see it's just a tiny little area, but I can go into, like, there's an airport there. There's mountains in through here. If you go too mountainous, the game won't be able to generate a battle for you because it's too difficult for the troops to arrive and do different things. You've got these little areas. So if I go and click on this one through here, for example, please wait. So the red areas means that you can't actually play it. So if I just go in that way, and so the sector width, sector height, I can change. If I go minimum, and I go minimums there. So it's just a tiny little square. So if I go into these, look, it doesn't even cover the whole airport. Let's just go and do this airport. So if we were going to do the battle here, these areas here can't be sort of, you can't actually put troops or have troops start or in through that area. So the reds will then sort of show where you just can't go and can't do things. So if we just go and just go done, I'll just go back to US and USSR. Back in through there. You can change different things like air superiority, neutral units at maximum. You do actually have, like, again, time of day, weather, etc., etc. The terrain is desert in this case because of the map. So I'll just go and click on done. I'm not seeing the numbers there. So types will be mechanized versus mechanized. So I can change this to armored, dynamic. Dynamic sort of allows you to do anything you like, or infantry. So I'll just keep it on mechs. Mechs sort of give you a bit of a grouping of all the different things. I'll just go and click on done. In this case, that's actually where we're sort of starting. So click to place or remove objectives. I won't worry about those. They've got victory points down through there. That's okay. Just click on done. Then we've got the combat power. Actually, 1,000 is about the smallest that we could have there. So I'll just go that side, mechanized versus mechanized. I can also have the different ways of combat, like you can have people dug in, or meeting engagement, which is what we've got here. So I'll just go and click on done through this other side. But again, this will then, and again, I'm just going, player starting edge west. Again, all this sort of stuff. If I just go and play. And so this is a very, very different one. So if I go in and sort of start to get down and dirty with these units, it's a very, very flat desert-ish terrain that we sort of then go and see. And then we've got the various units that will then have been built. So this is the airport. And so essentially we do actually have some scout units back out through there. I'll just go back out this way a little bit. You've got sort of other commands to sort of move the map around, but it's just very, very nicely done. Just in terms of, this is very simple in terms of the actual map itself. Some of the other maps are very, very mountainous. The rivers, again, you've got bridges you have to then sort of try to control. So we've got a Mech Platoon HQ in this case, an M113 sort of armoured personnel carrier. So there are forces that would be loaded into that one through there. But I won't go into too much detail here, but I think a lot of you will like this game. It's very, very cool the way it sort of does work. So now where are we up to? So is AB2 available on Steam? Yes, it is. As of today. As of 18 hours coming up. So if I go back to the store page, I think you can buy it today. No, you can only wish list it, but it unlocks in 18 hours. So basically in 1 day's time, you're going to be able to then grab it from here. But if you've got the Matrix version, and there will be a special, I believe, as well. So just look out for that one. I was told that there was going to be a special. So maybe wait for it to launch. If you don't have it already, wait for it to launch on Steam, because I think there's a deal that's going to be coming with it as well. I don't know what the deal is, but you may be able to get it a little bit cheaper. So anyway, that's it's a very, very well done game. Like it's you can see through here. This is actually examples of the actual gameplay itself. So this is in-game sort of stuff. In fact, if I just go and I won't play it, but anyway, that's very, very cool game. The way it does work, and certainly much, much easier to play than Brigade 1. Although even though it does have a lot of the same sort of characteristics, so it's a good addition. Like it really is a big step up. It's one of the things when I was streaming it when it first came out on Matrix. People who played Brigade 1 and like me were thinking it's not going to add that much with the 3D, but when you look at it and think, oh wow, that really does improve your understanding of the game, like dramatically. It's very, very cool, and it's one of these games where the fog of war really kicks in very, very strongly. So you've got to spend time scouting very, very carefully. You've got to sort of keep units in positions where they're hidden but can still see what things are going on. And then you may still not see things that happen, and then disaster can ensue. It's very, very cool, this game. There's so much in it. But I was saying I was just watching you a bit on Emperor of the Fading Suns. A Meta Abuse interview will be up on YouTube too. Okay, cool, great. Okay, so that will be on YouTube. We didn't record it at that. Like we didn't record visuals for it, but I'm guessing that Battle Mode will then sort of put videos in around it as well, just for sort of for context. But it was a very, very good interview, I've got to say. Emperor of the Fading Sun. That's the giveaway for today. Thor was saying win. It is too early, but we're nearly at that time now. In fact, what I'll do is I will get that one set up. Let's go and open up Nightbot. So we'll open up Nightbot, go to the dashboard, which should then bring us in. Here we go, giveaways. What I'm just going to do here is, have they changed this? Keyword. Next. Why is this different? So there's win there. Let's click on done. If you guys now type in the word win, you can then be in the running for Empires of the Fading Suns. Empire of the Fading Suns. It does have plural at the end of it. Sorry, Emperor of the Fading Suns. I knew I got it wrong. Okay, so Tom is insane to battle mode. ASCII is like having a full view. No, it's not. I disagree with that as well. So Joe Newell saying AB2 campaign generator so much. It's incredible, and the fact that you get all of that stuff as well, like, it's just great. And did I try Gravity Tactics? Says Invictus. No, I didn't. I did. I think I might have chased it up at one point. Yeah. So, and Drex is saying Graviteam versus Armour Brigade 2. I think is closer than comparing it to Combat Mission. Combat Mission being smaller maps. Yes. Yeah. I've been told that Graviteam is an amazing game as well. So Thor is in saying Graviteam Tactics got too obtuse and weird for my taste. Tom saying, sorry Daz, I'm just commenting on something. ASCII as being clearer, as 3D or ISO is not, for an old man's eyes. Yeah, I think you have to understand, like ASCII, I know that with Dwarf, and I think of Dwarf Fortress whenever people talk about ASCII. So, but I'm saying, Daz, I've got another key for Emperor of the Fading Suns. Do you want it for the giveaway? Well, if you guys want to do what we did last week, where we have a top and tail. If you come last, you get one from battle mode, and if you come first, you get it from me. That would be great if that works for you, battle mode. That'd be awesome if you want to get it across to me. So that would, yeah, that'd be. If you don't want to give it away on with anything you're doing, so battle mode also has like a key to give away as well from the developer, which is fantastic. So I'll just start to get everything set up. I've got a funny feeling that again that the game that says Marvels on Stream is actually updated. So we'll just make sure we get the update in. And I will actually just quickly go and open up Sublime Text. Oh, you got a random key from a PR company. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, if you want it, that's fine. But if you're happy to do that, so battle mode will be the second key will be courtesy of battle mode. Let's go continue. All right, let's go and get this thing started. So it'll be a top and tail. If you come last, and there's multiple of you coming last, we'll have to do a bit of a runoff. And I was worried last week because it was extremely close. So we'll just have to sort of monitor what does go on here, and first as well. Like we've never had a tie for top. Actually, if there's a tie for top place, I'll give it to both top place players. If there's a clear winner for top, you'll get one key. If there's a tie for the bottom, we'll then play off amongst those people to see which one of those becomes the top. Until we end up with a loser, a definite loser. Okay, we'll just go that way. Hopefully we can do it that way. Yeah, I hope we can do it that way. Right, so we'll just go and grab this one, get the marble names, and get rid of all of those. Delete. And we'll go back to here and grab the names. 37, so we'll just go and I should be able to grab all of those. Just keep on changing things where they are. Copy eligible entries. Unfortunately, it gives it doesn't do it cleanly. So I've got a pattern a pattern search that I've got to do here. So I'll just go find and replace, replace all. Let's go to our 37. Sorbicol is not in. Okay, we'll put 38. And yep, so I've got Sorbicol in there. Legit Spoon, did you make it in? No. Oh, yes, you did. You're at the top there. Okay, cool. You're in there. So we're up to date with everyone. That's good. I'll just go and save that, and we'll get started. So we'll now close it off. So Sorbicol is saying, sorry, been a long time tonight. Now, there was Cyrillic, as I was calling it as well. who may not be watching anymore, who was wanting to be in it, but if you're not here, you're not here. Basically, is the problem. So we'll go that way. All right. So away we go. We'll just go and save this one, and get started. So we're going to race to start with. Oh, Richard Phillips. Sorry, Richard. I'll just make sure that are you in there already? Richard Phillips, 39. Phillips, there we are. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so I'm going to now lock it off. So there's no more names after Richard. So 39. Okay, add names. Clear this. Open. So we've got all of them there. All right, done. 39, finish. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. So we go back out now to Grand Prix. I'm going to play 3 maps. And hopefully there's a clear winner and a clear loser. So Thor is saying I'm not on the list. You're not? Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go 40. I'm going to do it here. Go to bots. I don't think I can add one. So you weren't there? Damn, hang on. All right. Okay. There we are. Just keep it Thor. We'll know it's you. All right, so we'll finish that one. 40. That's a nice round number. So we'll go back to Grand Prix. 3 maps. Bots. 40. Okay, that's good. And we'll auto-fill. Got to hope for some really, really dangerous ones here. Bizarre popping battleground. That sounds dangerous. All right, good luck, everyone. Here we go. So we're going to play. You weren't in there, were you? You weren't not in there twice, I hope. If you're in twice, the second one's only got the one name. If that's the case, it'll be a null person. I couldn't see a name either, but that doesn't mean much. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so getting started. Good luck, everyone. So it looks like already Hugh and Castanar looks like to have a bit of an advantage before anyone else is even out. So Castanar straight up through all these different areas. Logan has hit the lead. Then Rocklight has hit the lead there. So we'll just go all the way up to the top here and just sort of see who ends up coming up through this side. So looks like we've got Naz and Legit Spoon have hit the lead here. Looks like Legit Spoon is the one that in the top. Actually, maybe Naz. And Bajink. Saying Tiny Mutant Squid, but that often doesn't mean much. Here they come. All the way up. So it is Naz out in the lead. A nice lead. Bloyerman's coming in with Logan and Tiny Mutant Squid. So Naz is going to be the first one up to the top here. But who will make it through? So Naz is the first one into the maze and straight through. Look at that. Unbelievable. Oh, no. Tiny Mutant Squid went round the outside, came straight through. Naz is coming in second now. Got Logan. Oh, nearly made it. CB is going to make it through and John is going to make it through. So Tiny Mutant Squid making his way down. Are there any dangerous areas? No one's fallen off this particular map, which is unfortunate because we actually want people falling off these maps because we're playing paying the last place. So we want death and destruction. So just making their way through. They've all got caught up in through here. First one through here is going to be Martin the Warrior, and straight through with Guy Bellaby in behind, and straight through again. Wow, what a finish. What a finish. But no, has been caught up. Guy Bellaby and CB have now sort of coming in second place there. And Guy is straight through, and CB is straight through. Unfortunately, Martin got caught there. Bubicus is now passed as well. Martin has still not made it out. Yes, it has now. Okay, in with everyone else now. So Bubicus coming back down. We've got Guy Bellaby looks to be out in the lead now. So it looks to be the first one to go down into the central area. Is there any, this looks a bit dangerous. Maybe it's not though. We'll see who the first one is. Doesn't look very dangerous, does it? Oh, Matt at Ravendesk has actually sort of made it straight across. Yeah, these aren't a problem. We'll see who makes it out of this tunnel. So Matt at Ravendesk coming through, straight through. And then we've got this. This may make it a little bit more difficult. I don't know what this does, this finish line. Matt at Ravendesk has made it in, okay. CB has made it in. Guy Bellaby has made it. Dave Flute. And Rexy. Seeking Matter. So I'm not sure what happens in here. I'm not sure. It looks like this should be dangerous, doesn't it? But it's not. So yeah, we've got Naz, Legit Spoon, Logan. I don't know if these give little points themselves. I'm just not sure how this one actually does work. Louise, and here comes everyone else as well. So everyone else is just going to be basically getting 1 point. So you guys are all in the running. A lot of you are in the running for the last place. Guy Bellows saying, got to go. It's getting. Oh, here we go. We do actually have people falling off the back end. This is good because we need a fair few of them to not get any points to win those. Okay, so we've got the final results. Let's have a look at that one. And so if we go back to the Grand Prix, we can then sort of see the actual points. So we've got at the moment for last place, we've got a fair number. We've got, what, 10 at the end there? And then we've got our main, so Matt at Ravendesk coming out in front now with CB coming in second and Guy Bellaby coming in third. All right, let's go to the next map. This is Fearful, Fearless, Bazaar. All right, good luck everyone. Looks nice. Just go and grab a random marble and we'll just watch what actually happens in through here. So I'm trying to go down the loop. So we're a little way behind. I think no one's really falling off at this stage. So sort of coming into these channels and then back down through. Yeah, no one's died yet, but will that change? Yeah, there's a lot of people actually sort of moving further forward. Let's just move out of this and see where we are. Yes, there's a lot coming into these areas. Again, nothing dangerous yet. So no one's fallen off. Naz got thrown, but it's still actually okay. It's the throwing that's the dangerous thing. Comes Mike, going all the way up to here. And straight through, wow. Trying to sort of make its way out of this this churning type chamber. I'll just get out of there because I'm getting dizzy. Am I out? I don't think I'm out. Where is everyone? Here we are. God, I can't get out of this. There we are. We're out now. So this is where it's going to get dangerous. We're going to get people thrown off here if they just happen to be unlucky. And you want to be unlucky because unless you're Mad Hat Ravendesk or one of the ones in the lead. There we go. Richard is out. No, he bounced back in again. He actually made some ground up. Very lucky, Richard. Well, or unlucky if you're already coming last. CB is way at the back. Nobody else has been thrown up yet. Geezer Zone looks like he won't finish, so it looks like Geezer Zone is stuck. So that means a 0 there. So some of you want zeros and some of you want to get good numbers now. So here comes the rest of them. Yeah, so Giza Zone is stuck. So we'll ultimately end up with 0 points. So who's winning? Still Mike out in front. So coming back through. There's still a fair few at the back there, which may not make it through. So there could be a whole bunch that actually just don't make it because of time. Now Mike, JB Foster is the first one in actually, so JB Foster wins. Mike comes in second, there we are. Here comes Richard Phillips. We've got Naz coming in as well. So nobody got thrown out, which was very, very lucky. Well, or unlucky, depending if you're trying to get the last place. But we've got 30 seconds to go before the map kills everyone. So Giza Zone will be the first one out. Bang! There goes Giza Zone. So 0 points for Giza Zone. And I think a lot of these people here, like Brian and Bubicus, Legit Spoon. So we're gonna end up with some kills here. There goes Rocklight, CB, Brian, Dave, Bloyermind, Serenity. Guy Bellaby is wanting to finish, I think, from memory. Won't make it. Won't make it. Oh, you did. I think you did make it. I think Guy Bellaby did make it in that one. So the final results go to the Grand Prix. And so in this case, where was Guy Bellaby? Guy Bellaby. Yeah, you did make. You got 1 point. You were lucky. On 23 with Mad Hat Raven Desk, 15 with CB. A few of the others, 15 there with Naz. Oh, Richard. Richard, you were on 0 and you got 12. That's not good. Well, you still can win it. You still can win it. It's only, they're 23 and 12. Yeah, you can still win it. Technically, you still can. But in reality, now, we've got a lot on ones. A lot that are now on ones. So, good luck, everyone. Remember, at the back end, if there's... we're then going to sort of just see who actually, we'll do a race with the if there is a bunch of you at the bottom there, we'll do the race that way. Or I did start off that way. I'm just thinking whether I go to a second place. If there's multiple last place finishes, whether I should go to second place or not. But we'll see how we go. So in fact, what we'll do is at the back end, whoever wins out of those people, so whoever wins the next race after that, out of the people who finish last, we'll then have them as the second winner. So we'll go into the next map, because some of the numbers here can be, like you can see there, the low numbers don't really sort of add up to anything. Okay, so we'll go to next map. Lucky Last, Bizarre Popping Battleground. This will be a good one. Okay, good luck, everyone. Whether you're wishing to come first or last. Yeah, last week's was actually really interesting. There was just one person that dropped out in the middle race, and they ended up winning last place and winning a key. There we go. There's Maladroit, Thor coming through, Bloyermind, Mike as well. Right, so in they come. So they're sort of just being delayed here. Is there any danger? Yeah, there's some danger here. This could get fairly interesting, I think. Oh, there we go. That's sorted them out. Giza Zone coming out through the front. Drexy in there as well. Reed is now in the lead. And is, pushed through. So Reed is now going up with Rocklight and Bajink. I can't remember who's winning or who has to sort of come back through. I know that Mad Hat Raven Desk was out in front, I think. Now this could get interesting. Being caught up in all of the... Oh, and Reed's gone. No, Reed's still there. But there goes Luisia and JP Foster, and they jumped onto the actual screen, onto the thing itself. Who was that? I don't know who that one's. Grob is gone. Thor is now gone. Still got more of them going to be thrown off here. There goes Hugh David. Oh, Hugh David almost got into the front there. In fact, Lewis got thrown into the winning spot. Hugh David is now dribbled in with JP Foster. John the chef is in there as well. Reed is now finished. There goes somebody else. There goes Brian, and Brian actually jumped into the lead there. Guy Bellaby jumped in as well. Okay, but you're now getting sort of only 1 point for finishing at this point in time. So there was only one or two that actually dropped off, I think. There goes Sorbicol. Oh, there goes Invictus. Invictus is out. So I think we might get a lot the last place here. We'll see how we go. So we'll have to do a points rollback to sort of see how we end up here. Martin is still trying to get it finished. Along with Major Shrifty. I think there's time. Oh no, there's not time. Major Shrifty gone and Martin the Warrior gone as well. Okay, so final results. Now, what we're going to do here is, before we look at the actual this is old, this stuff here. So we're going to finish the Grand Prix and see who actually wins. And then we'll look at the numbers and see if we've got a clear last place. So, coming in third place is Mad Hat Ravendesk, who was the leader, the clear leader before. So he's been surpassed by somebody else. In second place, we have Hugh David backing through here. And in first place, at this stage, we have to do a points count back, but our podium winner is JP Foster, who actually did get a win in the middle race, I think. So JP Foster, congratulations at this stage, but we don't know for 100% yet. So, yeah, JP Foster, clear leader out in front. So then we have Hugh David at 27, Mad Hat Ravendesk. Didn't get any points in that last race. So congratulations, JP Foster. You actually must have got another 12 points in that last one. So because you were only on 20 points previously, so that was a good comeback, a good comeback from 0 points in the first race. So good stuff. Now let's scroll down and see if we have a clear winner or clear loser in the back end of this. So we scrolling down. We're getting 30th. So we've got 2 points. 2 points. Do we have any 1 point? So just keep it scrolling down to 37, 38. There we go. We've got Serenity on 1 point, Rocklight on 1 point, and Mike G on 1 point. So we now have to do a race to see who wins out of those three. So Serenity, I'm going to write these down because I'll need to. In fact, what I'll do is I'll pop them into my list. I'll just do a quick. I'll just grab this one here, just so I can actually sort of just place it off the side there. So we're looking at Serenity, Rocklight, and Mike G. And our leader, as we said before, is JP Foster. So JP Foster, you've got your key. And actually, what I should have done is just put their names into a race, and I think we'll just do it that way. So we'll just go back to the main menu, and we'll just do a single race. We'll set up the add names. So we had there's Rocklight there. There's Mike G. And there is looking for Serenity. Oh, there's Serenity. There we go. It's only 3 of them. 3 in the race. Finish. So 1 race. Actually, I'll do still a Grand Prix because I at least know what I'm doing with that. So we'll go back to Grand Prix. Bots 3. And 1 race. Oh, I've got to do 2. I'll go back to race in that case. I don't know how to get a there's random. Yep, bots with 3 of them. Okay, here we go. So this is Slippery Slopes. So good luck, everyone. So the record time here is 2:38, but it's whoever comes first in this particular one is going to be the the winner. So let's get into it. Who is going to win this one? So we've got Serenity, Rocklight, and Mike G. So good luck, everyone. Well, not everyone, just the three, these three. So who is going to win it? Rocklight out in front at this stage. So this is our this is for the last place. Well, now you're looking for the winner. So Rocklight and Mike G and Serenity all there. Rocklight slightly out in front. Mike G coming back through. We've got some sort of ghost marble in there as well. Let's go and play second. Just go and follow Mike in to see what actually happens. Looks like there's some danger there. Got cannons firing. So they're both gone. Mike's now hit the lead. He's coming back through where the cannons are firing. And he's on the slippery slope, but with rocks coming through. Rocklight and Serenity are both behind. What's up ahead? What's up ahead? We've got a lot of rocks falling. Here comes more rocks. The others are still on the course. Will anyone get a booster? Now this one could. No, it won't push them off. So Mike's the first one through at this stage. Here comes Rocklight and Serenity. Let's just go back underneath. Oh, has Rocklight hit the lead? I think he has. I think Mike's still, his marble will still be there. So Mike has now hit the lead in through here. Serenity coming in second. I don't know where Mike is. If I go back to third place, oh, there's Mike. So they're all sort of together. Serenity has now hit the lead here. So we'll go and watch it from Serenity's perspective. Oh no, was that someone that dropped off? No, it wasn't. It was just more rocks. It was just rocks. It wasn't Mike. I thought it was Mike there for a minute. Everyone's still safe. So Serenity, that's Serenity there. And I don't know who's following now, but I think Serenity's a long way out in front. Let's just see what happens here. So we've still got a little way to go. It's a good map, isn't it, this one? It's a good map to sort of see who actually gets... Oh, this is dangerous. So the others are still coming in behind. It's all three of them. And hitting this area through here. Serenity's still out in front. Oh, Serenity is gone. Okay, Serenity is gone. We've now got Mike. Mike has now hit the lead in through here, but not able to sort of move anywhere. And so Serenity is out of this one. Rocklight... I think if all three drop, whoever the last one is to drop will be the winner. Because this looks dangerous. There's Rocklight. Oh, there goes Mike. These little drops, they're dangerous. Okay, here comes Mike now into the last run. So I'm pretty sure that's Mike there. I'll just go and click on number 1. Yeah, there goes Mike. And so Rocklight will be way at the back there. If I just go and press number 2, here we go. Rocklight coming back through this other side. Let's go and pick number 1 again. Here we go for the key for coming in last. So I got the final run. Now this could be dangerous as well. Will this work? Following Mike in, and he is through. Mike is the winner of the key. So congratulations there, Mike. And Rocklight is... Where's Rocklight? Here he comes. Here he comes. Oh, he's stuck. He's just stuck way back. We'll just let him finish. Is the yellow coming? No, the yellow's still not there yet. Here we go. Here we go. Down this slippery slope. He's not going down smoothly, though. And there we go, into the finish line. So congratulations, Mike. You are the loser, the winning loser. And so we've then got JP Foster is the winner. So what I'll do is with that is I'll just get you guys to email me, please, at daz@daztactic.com, and I will then over the next day. Probably, I've got to go to work, so if you send it through, I'll try to get it through to you before 24 hours, but it may be up to a day. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the game. It's a pretty cool game actually. So Seeking Meta saying good times. Yeah, that was cool having the playoff actually. I didn't mind that. It was I think we'll be doing that a bit in the future. It was good fun. So yeah, congratulations, guys, and I'll catch you. Well, I'll be streaming again like all week. I've got so many games that I need to be getting on top of. So there will be a lot of content coming this week, and then, but if not, I'll see you at next week's Chat Tactic. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you then.